are live. Welcome to today's O'Reilly Auto Parts season opener, Daytona International Speedway. It is the obviously first race of 2026 for the newly named O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. It is the second to last race of Speed Week. Of course, the main event tomorrow afternoon, the Daytona 500. Our build-up continues to build up. Hopefully, we'll see a great race here today. This has put on one of the better shows in recent years as far as Speed Week as a whole is concerned. And I think tonight it's going to be a lot of fun to see what the action's going to look like. We already had one race in the books earlier today with the ARCA Menard Series race. Congratulations again to Gio Ruggiero, who is actually going to be trying to pull off the not only triple duty this weekend in the Xfinity race, but trying to get the doubleheader sweep here on this Saturday afternoon in Daytona. To win two races in the same day at this racetrack, probably the most difficult of any. And Gio Ruggiero will be rolling off in the 16th place position for Joe Gibbs Racing, a runner-up last night as well, so he's definitely been the talk of the town so far this weekend. On the front row, we've got Austin Hill and Jesse Love, the two favorites, hands down to win this race. Austin Hill is a three-time February race winner at Daytona, and Jesse Love won this race a season ago. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content, and let's get into this one. Drivers are strapping themselves up into the rocket ships right now, and we should get the command to fire engines here any moment. I'll let you listen into that when we do get there. For visual purposes, the CW is broadcasting all the NASCAR Xfinity Series races this season, or O'Reilly Series races this season. Once the green flag drops, I guess it's officially the O'Reilly Series, so get the cobwebs out now. Steve Garrett, B, Bam Hall, Marcus Villarreal, Federico Sanchez. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Trying to watch the race, thunderstorm in South Texas. Oh, that sucks. Power out. Got the pork butt resting in the oven for sandwiches and nachos. That's a good Saturday night right there. All right, here's the command to fire engines.
It is a great day to be a racer with NASCAR and United Rentals in Daytona. Let's do this. Drivers! Your engine!
And I don't.
Put a lot of pizzazz on that one. That's how you give a command to fire engines to start the race, especially at a track like Daytona International Speedway. AJ Summers, Bond 1771, thanks for tuning in. We'll go through the starting lineup in full now. Went through the front row already. Again, it's Austin Hill and Jesse Love on the front row. A sweep for RCR for getting the O'Reilly and Daytona 500 pulls this weekend. Kyle Busch again starting up front in tomorrow's Daytona 500. Row 2 will be Sam Mayer along with William Sawalich. Row 3 for Sheldon Creed and Corey Day. Row 4 will be Raja Caruth and Patrick Staropoli, who'll be running full-time in his rookie season in the 48. Rounding out the top 10, Taylor Gray and Ryan C. Gray in the Xfinity Series race, or Truck Series race, last night. Carson Quapple, Sammy Smith for Junior Motorsports will be in row 6. Row 7 for another JRM Chevy, Justin Allgaier and Blaine Perkins. Row 8, Brandon Jones and the ARCA winner earlier today, Gio Ruggiero. And in row number 9, Jordan Anderson and Dean Thompson. Look out for Jordan Anderson. He is a very good super speedway racer, truck, and Xfinity Series. And row number 10 will be Patrick Emmerling and Carson Hocevar. Hocevar, the only full-time Cup regular in the field today. Mason Maggio and Jeff Burton will make up row 11. Behind them in row 12, Luke Fenhouse making his Xfinity debut, and Harrison Burton back full-time in the 24 this year for Sam Hunt Racing. Of course, last year was for AM Racing in the 25. Brandon Poole with Anthony Alfredo in row 13. Fast Pasta missed out on the Daytona 500 a couple nights ago, failed that post-race inspection, so he's looking for some kind of a redemption today. Last night's Truck Series winner Chandler Smith won the race after failing to make the Daytona 500, so Anthony Alfredo tried to do the same here today for the O'Reilly Series. Parker Retzlaff with Nick Sanchez will make up row number 14. Sanchez in his new home at AM Racing. Jeremy Clements along with Austin Green in row 15. Deeper in the field, row 16 for Josh Williams and Ryan Ellis. Daniel Dye, Josh Balicki in row 17. Natalie Decker along with Kyle Sieg in row 18. And rounding out the 38-car field in row 19 will be LeVar Scott and Carson Ware. So that is your full field starting lineup. 300 miles, 120 laps, our scheduled distance for this evening. Starting in the dusk hours, it will finish obviously in the nighttime skies, probably shortly into stage 2. I'd imagine this is going to be full darkness at the Daytona International Speedway, and really hope that things go well today. We have a safe race. H. Holly D, Emogene Blevins, thanks for tuning in as well. A lot of us gearing up for yet another Daytona race on this packed weekend. All right. I would assume in the CW booth, we're going to hear from Adam Alexander, Parker Kligerman, and Jamie McMurray, just like we had for most of the races last season. When it was a 3-man booth, it was those 3. When it was 2, it was Alexander with either Kligerman or McMurray. But first race of the year at Daytona, I'm sure all 3 of them will be at the track here today. Cars are rolling off onto the racetrack and away from pit road. About 3 to 4 pace laps away from going green and kickstarting this O'Reilly Series race. First race under the new title sponsor after having a mainstay in the Xfinity Series for about 10 years. From one tenure to the next. Couple of former winners at Daytona right there in the booth as well. Jamie McMurray, the 2010 Daytona 500 winner. Parker Kligerman in substitute duty last summer was able to get a win for Junior Motorsports in the 88. After Connor Zilisch had started the race, Zilisch got credited with the win, but it was the driver, Parker Kligerman, took that car to victory lane. Nonetheless, he also ended up winning at Daytona last February in the Truck Series before the DQ and finishing last as a result of failing post-race inspection. But he's a former 2-time Super Speedway winner full-time in the Truck Series back in his Red Horse racing days, so be some good input to hear from those guys throughout the course of the night. ARCA race towards the finish, very aggressive. Truck Series race towards the finish, very aggressive. And that aggressiveness came with a lot of lane changing, as we usually see at Daytona late. A lot of blocks, a lot of bump drafting. A lot of the crashes really came from bump drafting gone wrong. And incidents that ultimately could have been avoided if it weren't for over-aggression. That's just what these drivers are willing to do in this day and age, especially with a win at Daytona on the line. And with the prestige that we have at this racetrack on this weekend, despite tomorrow being the big one, still very important for any one of these 38 drivers to get the victory lane here this afternoon as well. 4 straight wins of the season opener at Daytona for RCR. Austin Hill with 3 of those wins. Jesse Love winning last season. It was 3 in a row for Hill in the 3 years before that. Jesse Love, the defending series champion, trying to go back-to-back this season with now the new chase format that we will see this year. And remember, a race win is worth 55 points. It's 15 more than the 40 you were originally allotted. And no more playoff points, but stage points are still here. And our stage splits for tonight will be 30, 30, and 60. Roger Carruth going to be full-time in the 88 car for Junior Motorsports this season. Seeing Connor Zilisch with that same paint scheme in the Hendrick Cars, well, I guess HendrickCars.com Chevrolet now this year, but last year, just seeing that 88 car win as many races as it did, it's kind of odd not to see that same driver back in the car, but that's because Connor Zilch has been promoted to Cup Series racing full time. It's also weird to see Caden Honeycutt in the 11 last night for Tricon Crutch because Corey Heim won so many races last season in that truck. That was the same exact paint scheme. That really was a little bit of getting used to. Austin Fuller, thanks for tuning in. Go JRM. RCR is going down. We'll see. We'll see. Now, my pick, I'm just going to keep it safe tonight, taking Austin Hill. Took Chandler Smith last night. He was able to squeak away with a win. Also had a Stage 2 victory in there. And not going to think outside the box with this one like I maybe did a little bit yesterday for the truck race. I'm staying in-house. I think RCR is going to be the team to beat. They're going to have the speed. Now can they have the execution, and can the drivers not make a mistake? Remember last year in this race for Austin Hill, taking him out of a shot to win 4 February Daytona races in a row. What he ended up ultimately doing was having a mechanical failure, and his engine was down a cylinder, and unfortunately had to drop into the garage before the end of the race, was unable to finish. So if he can make it to the end of the race, I'm sure he'll be a threat. He led a lot of laps last year, and I think he actually won Stage 1 last season. Those issues ended up coming early in the third stage. Our goal for today's race is going to be to get to 100 likes, and we are at 27 right off the rip. Appreciate that, everyone. We've hit our like goal every stream so far. Qualifying, I only had it at 50. We got well above 100 on Wednesday. Just got above 100 during the dual races Thursday night. Truck race last night, we hit well above 100 as well. And ARCA race today, back down to 50, with it being a non-sanctioned race in the top 3 series, and we were still able to hit that goal of 50 likes and ramp that back up to 100 here today. And we'll see if we can keep that streak going. We haven't missed one yet this season on the like goal counter. Didn't check after the race earlier today, but I know during the race we were 19 subs away from 6,900. Now we're 17 away. So thank you to everybody who has been new to the channel this weekend, hitting that subscribe button. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. A little bit of a warmer afternoon in Daytona. I'm sure the drivers inside the cars can't wait for the sun to go down, cool things off just a little bit more. And obviously this time of the year, not really going to be all that humid in the nighttime. Going to be relatively cool. There's going to be some blind spots on the racetrack where that sun is just going to be beating down on this racetrack. Visibility headed into turn 3 is where we're probably going to see the most issues with that sun glare until it goes down completely behind the grandstands, as sunset is scheduled for a little less than an hour away from now. So the lights were out on the pace car. They've added another pace lap, so we'll have to wait to go green until next time by. Silch robbed last year, in my opinion, should have gotten the championship. Yeah, he was definitely the dominant driver of the year. That is for sure. But Jesse Love is able to win the championship this year. After what he was able to do last year, still won a couple of races throughout the season and kind of book-ended winning the first race of the year and winning the last race of the year with those 2 wins. Very reminiscent of Tyler Reddick's first championship in the Xfinity Series back with Junior Motorsports, when he won the first race of the year by a photo finish here at Daytona, won the last race of the year at Homestead to win the title. That was back in 2018, and then he repeated in 2019 to win the championship, and that year he won many more races than just the 2. So will this be an even more of a breakout year for Jesse Love, and can he go back-to-back? We may see that happen. Oddly enough, Reddick's second championship came right here with RCR in this number 2 car. So it's been done before. Ballistic Cream Pie, thanks for tuning in. What a channel name that is. All right. So Austin Hill, Jesse Love, gonna lead the field to the green. Leaders are in turns 3 and 4 right now, as they'll be going green this time. Or that extra lap was added onto the parade laps to start this thing. All right. The O'Reilly Series. What will go down this season? A lot of great racing over the last couple of years in this series, week to week, it seems. I think we're going to start things off with a bang here at the Daytona International Speedway. All right, pace car's headed to pit road for sure this time. I think. Nope. Oh, no, it is. Okay, that was a very late left-handed turn. But off and away they go. Austin Hill on the outside of row 1 for this initial start. Green flag is in the air, and we are underway at Daytona. We've got already a couple cars at the back of the pack spinning down into the grass as we're coming to get the green flag to start the season, and the caution's out immediately. That didn't take very long. Wow. I've seen instances like that in late race situations, but never on lap 1 here at Daytona.
Following the start there,
Yeah.
they didn't go, right? Like they waited a while in that restart zone, and that doesn't normally affect the guys.
Wrong.
They normally don't. Yeah, NASCAR can see that he's trailing oil behind.
And this is something that they really important to teams when you've had this situation where you have fluid coming out, the radiator's basically knocked out, it just pull over. Yeah, you're done. Do not drive around the track. It makes the cleanup longer. So he did that here at the bottom of the racetrack, 1 and 2.
Well, and the engine builder will thank you as well.
Yes. But this is a shame. Oh, Anthony Alfredo. His horrific weekend continues.
If you look and see exactly what happens right here on the start, see a couple of gaps here on some of these guys. Maggio right there, that pink and white car.
Oh,
Oh,
somebody
it's the
didn't
gaps
go.
you just mentioned. Those are, you don't want to have that, especially because when you're 2x2 like this and tucked up the rear bumper of another car, you can't see any of those in front of you. Those accelerations. So when you get this accordion effect, it happens almost in an instant where you feel like you just run in the car in front. But the checkup happened 4 or 5 rows ahead. Great.
The most unfortunate part of this is that it really doesn't matter when it's first lap, right? It's okay. You're gonna catch it when you get to turn one anyway, even if you have the gaps. It's the Tambo onboard camera.
And remember, for that onboard there, the driver's sitting a lot lower than where that camera's located.
Early caution here in Daytona as we get 2026 in the O'Reilly Park Series on.
Don't think that's the bang you meant to start off the season. No, not quite. That is not what I had in stored. Regine Huddleston, thanks for tuning in again. Taylor Walston, welcome to the stream. More wrecks in the beginning means less numbnuts wrecking at the end of the race. Yeah, maybe. Get less cars at the end. More chance of a natural finish. Just kidding, they'll find a way to wreck then too. In this series, maybe. Dean Tate, welcome to the stream. Green crap, yep. That's probably what I would have said if I was a spotter in that situation. Just watched O'Reilly qualifying. Cesar Baccarella was in the 4. Alfredo DNQ in the 96. And then they put him in the 4 in replacement of Baccarella. Probably thinking Alfredo's got a better opportunity to win this race, but that's very weird to pull a driver like that in the late going. Maybe he was feeling ill or something. I have no idea. It's very strange. Yeah, not a good weekend for Alfredo. Nearly failing to qualify to make this race. The DQ in the duel on Thursday night to make the 500. After it looked like he was going to make it. Had they just passed post-race inspection. All right. Wait to see how long the cleanup is going to be before we get our first green flag lap of the race in. Remember 2002 Talladega. 11 cars left after the big one. Halfway, there were only 7 cars left. 3 were competitive. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we have something like that again here today. I hope not. It's kind of like the Erica race last year, nearly. They had like 3 big ones in the first like 20 or 30 laps of the race, and there's only probably 7 competitive cars left. That's not a lot at Daytona. They usually have slightly more competitive cars on the super speedways. Most tracks, it's only like 3 or 4, I feel like, nowadays in ARCA. Austin Sullivan, thanks for tuning in. I did crash at the start of the race. Yeah, somebody checked up on that inside line, probably 4 or 5 rows ahead of where the crash actually took place, and that started everything. One-second lead for Austin Hill over Jesse Love during the caution. Maybe going to be about as big of a lead as we'll see today. MJF, AJF, thanks for tuning in. My professional wrestling there mixed everything up.
The emergency lights and sirens you see on the safety vehicles here at the track are protecting
MJF.
first responders and communities all across America. Let's get an update from Pit Road. Here's Dylan Welch.
Well, you see the 4 car here. That is normally driven by Cesar Baccarella, qualified into the show earlier today by Cesar. But Anthony Alfredo is now piloting that race car after his regular full season ride was not able to qualify for this race earlier today. Cesar stepped out of this race car and turned it over to Anthony. It has been a speed weeks to forget for Anthony. Raced into the Daytona 500 on Thursday, then was disqualified in post-race check. We mentioned the struggles with his regular season car in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series earlier today. This is Thursday night, leading one of the new races in the Cup Series, and it was all going according to plan until it wasn't after the race. Anthony was, as we said, able to get into this number 4 car in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series today, courtesy of Cesar Baccarella. He said, the one thing I've got to do is not damage this thing out of respect to Tommy Joe Martins and this entire team. That little incident there was not his fault. You see him back on the racetrack, just a little bit of left front damage, but it is not the start for sure that the 4 car and the 14 won it.
I will say this, though. Every time we come to one of these drafting tracks, Cesar Baccarella is in the mix, so we would anticipate if the damage isn't too bad, the same could be true for Alfredo. And look at this, the fortune that he had last night when he was eating out. Don't dwell on what you cannot control. He posted that on his social media. Make your statement based on what's happened to him the last couple of days.
There's been an amazing amount of things that he can't control that have happened this weekend, from the PQ to having a car qualify that just wasn't up to speed when they really needed it, to now this wreck that happens all in front of him.
Records go. This 20 crash at the back of the under pocket early here. Son of fans.
It's a very lengthy cleanup on the opening lap caution. 9 minutes into the race, we haven't had a green flag lap yet. Still on lap 4. Looks like maybe just completing lap 4. Price Casey, thanks for tuning in. Got about 100 people in the chat already. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in on this Saturday evening. $40 of y'all have hit the like button so far, so thank you for that as well. So we are in the very, very early going of this race. Not really much racing yet so far. As you see, only yellow. No green flag laps completed. Lap 1 crash as they were coming to green. In the back of the pack, quite a few cars collected. Mason Maggio out of the race following the incident. Other drivers involved include Harrison Burton, Carson Ware, Jeremy Clements, Anthony Alfredo, Josh Williams, Natalie Decker, LeVar Scott. I believe were the 8 drivers involved. Some form of damage. Some lighter than others. If you can stay at speed and stay in the trap, you got a chance. Fortunately for Maggio, couldn't even make it to the back straightaway before NASCAR was telling him to stop because of leaking all the fluids he was. At that point, you pretty much knew this was going to be a lengthy cleanup period. Austin Hill credited with leading these opening laps of the race under caution. He was barely out front of his teammate Jesse Love at the time of incident. To the last scoring loop, which was probably the start-finish line when they crossed at the initial start of the race. So that caution fell immediately after. They definitely did not waste time throwing the yellow for the incident back behind him. Frank Powers, welcome back. You're tuning in earlier today. My goodness, this is a lengthy caution, 12 plus minutes. It's a long time. Dewey Harrington, thanks for tuning in. Don't know what I do for a job, but have a great voice for broadcasting. Greatly appreciate that. I don't do this full time, unfortunately. Maybe someday. Look this into a full-time commentating gig of some sort. All right. Still think Connor Zillich should have won the championship last year. Yeah, I've seen a few of those comments already. First race back, and people are dwelling on last season. Oof. Yeah, that was a sight for sore eyes, wasn't it? All right. So we're zooming in on Brennan Poole on the restart. I mean, he was the first to make significant contact, but I guess he kind of drove up out of the way and got away with this thing scot-free.
Because it doesn't matter. Like you give space on these super speedway restarts, especially early on, because you're just going to catch them again. Let's take a listen to his radio.
Yeah, way to the ball. You're rapid. I did get in touch with my right transmitter. Quick, fully on, right?
One thing that I would say right now is I'd be a dad if I was on the radio, and I'd be like, okay, listen, everybody take a deep breath. Not to Brendan, I mean just in general to all these guys. Like it's a long race. We just got started. Let's not try to win into turn one. It's going to be fine here. Just give a little bit of a gap here.
But we didn't see a lot of drafting in practice yesterday. So you want to develop that rhythm, and now you get this slow start, so you shrink the opening stage. Maybe we'll find it now.
Quite a few butts in the seats in the grandstands on the front stretch here at the Daytona International Speedway. Green flag is going to be back in the air. Austin Hill leads us to the green. Hopefully we can get a full green flag lap in this time. His teammate Jesse Love on the choose rule restarted in second, chose the outside of row 2 right behind his teammate, so he'll be pushing him from the get-go. Sam Mayer, the push car, in line behind, I believe that would be Sheldon Creed. Up in the front of the field. No, William Sawalich in the 18, actually. Well, after the opening tri-oval, opening couple seconds incident, we're quickly 3x3 through the field. 48 car of Patrick Starpoli getting extremely loose. Had a bit of a moment in the middle lane of 3 wide. He's still bobbing and weaving all over the place, and I think Blaine Perkins saw that and got the heck out of the way. He's down on the bottom. I wouldn't want to be behind that 48. He is now holding a steady line right now. Actually seen the 17 and the 88 kind of jump around a little bit too. Corey Day and Raja Karuth. I don't know if you're a rookie, you would want to be 3 wide middle in your first up-to-speed laps at the Daytona International Speedway, like Staropoli is having right now. And I don't know that Corey Day ran a race at Daytona in the Xfinity Series last season, but here for O'Reilly this year, he's obviously running the season opener, and we'll see what he can do. William Sawalich credited with leading this lap at the line by 7/1000ths of a second over Austin Hill. They've traded the lead back and forth a couple times on the restart already, so 2 lead changes. Despite that one early wreck. Hill going down to try to side draft the 18 car to the inside. Moving back up to the outside by the exit of the corner. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Corey Day, still leading that middle line. And he's all the way up, battling for 4th right now between Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg, couple of Fords. Actually, Mayer would be a Chevrolet because of Haas moving to Chevy after last season. And that was both for the O'Reilly Series as well as the Cup side. Oh! I think Sieg and Jesse Love might have bounced off the wall coming out of the tri-oval there. Wasn't by much. Love went wide, brushing. I think Sieg did right after him. He's kind of following in line. It's very odd. Have to watch the right side tires of both of those race cars, make sure they don't have any kind of a rub that could cut one down. KTN USA, thanks for tuning in. Three wide now for 3rd place. Corey Day moving his way up. Almost squeezes Carson Kvapil into the wall, entering the tri-oval. Been a couple of dicey moments already. These first few green flag laps following quite a bit of damage that was sustained for some drivers at the back of the field, that early caution. Ryan Sieg pulling out of the top into the middle, and I think he's got a tire going down on the right side because he's slow in the middle of the pack. Either that or he just made a very dumb block on Corey Day that almost caused a wreck right in that middle lane. Yeah, his hand's out the window. He is going to have a tire going down. I thought he got against the wall pretty good in the tri-oval, and he definitely senses a tire falling apart and being stuck in the middle 3 wide with nowhere to go is backing himself as well as quite a few others up. He's not going to be able to get down to pit road this time. His hand's been out the window forever, and he's going to have to wait at least one more lap, and you got to hope that that tire's going to make it all the way back around. Looks like the right front's going soft on him. The letters are rubbed off of the right rear tire, the Goodyear lettering. Now Taylor Gray in the 54 is the first car in line caught behind him, as well as the 19 of Gio Ruggiero. Well, that quickly dissipated the field, being 3x3 most of the way through the lead pack from about 3rd on back with that stack up. He sensed the problem. He was trying to get down immediately. Could not get to pit road. Almost saw an accident. Unfortunately for Corey Day, that backed him up well out of the top 3 where he was running. He did find his way back up into the outside lane. He had Raja Kruth in the 88 just behind him, who also got backed up. And we'll see in the running order where exactly they are. And it looks like following that near incident, they're 11th and 12th, just outside the top 10. Stage points awarded to those top 10 positions, 1 point per spot. Pete Creamer, welcome back into the stream. Can already tell about 5 cars are going to finish this race. Oh boy. Oh boy. So single file right now after that stack up at 3 wide with Ryan Sieg trying to get to pit road. We'll still have to monitor Jesse Love, who also kind of scraped the wall a little bit, but it looked like Sieg might have gotten a little bit more of the fence out of the tri-oval a few laps ago for that flat tire to happen to him. Showing a replay of the near incident right now. Actually, I think they're going to show a replay. Well, never mind. Thought they were going to show a replay of him getting up against the fence. I don't know what that replay was all about. Wrong angle. Wrong camera. All right, so we're going to be halfway through stage 1 this time by. 30 laps again in each of the first 2 stages, 60 in stage 3. Austin Hill leads the field. Jesse Love is in second. Carson Kvapil third. Nick Sanchez fourth. And Jeremy Clements rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Sixth is Sammy Smith. Dean Thompson seventh. Harrison Burt eighth. Blaine Perkins ninth. Corey Day rounds out the top 10. We'll take our first break. You're listening live on KRC as our full flag-to-flag coverage of the United Rentals 300 continues on. Two cars are left down on the bottom lane of the racetrack still. Not sure if they just jumped out of line or if they've been there the whole time. That'd be Sam Mayer and William Sawalich. Sawalich getting a second year in the 18 car at Joe Gibbs Racing. Had a better finish off to last season towards the end of the regular season into the playoffs, but because of how poor the first 2/3 of the year were, he ended up missing the playoffs entirely in that Joe Gibbs Racing equipment. So trying to make the chase this season. Needs to be more consistent, obviously, if he doesn't get a win. And even if he does get a win, he's still got to be consistent because that's not going to guarantee him a spot anymore. But he'd still like to notch off a win at some point sometime soon. Get that first one out of the way, and takes a lot of pressure off of you as a driver, depending on the circumstance in which you are racing in. More cars along with Sawalich and Mayer down on the bottom. It's like the 19, the 14, and a few others behind them, drafting off a lap car who is also in the bottom lane. Things are going to get tight off turn 2 down the backstretch. They're going to have to take it 3 wide. Not sure who that is in the lap car down on the double yellow. But Sam Mayer, who was running just outside the top 10 when he was first out of line, has now gotten himself all the way up to 3rd. Jesse Love and Austin Hill see the momentum that they're able to take forward. Love tried to hop down in front of it, maybe take a shot at the lead. Goes back high. Austin Hill did the same thing. And now Sam Mayer all of a sudden to the inside of Love. Hasn't quite gotten to the leader Austin Hill yet. Hill still paces the field at the end of lap 17. Yeah, no more choo-choo racing, that's for sure. Lasted for a few laps, but didn't have a long stay, did it? We're actually back to 3 wide towards the front. Sammy Smith in the 8 for Junior Motorsports, bringing the 26 of Dean Thompson with him. A few others going to jump up in line as well. Looks like the 24 car. Harrison Burton. Sheldon Creed. And Justin Allgaier. 3x3 is the field here at the Daytona International Speedway as we come to lap 19 in the stage.
Body is good right now. Fuel not going to be a problem in stage 1. You can run all the way, same in stage 2. Where the fuel gauge becomes a thing is when we get in that last stage of the day.
Yeah, Parker, if we looked up, there's only 12 to go right now. This with what we had at the start, down to 12 laps. That's why everybody's starting to get more aggressive. You see that bottom lane is formed. Austin Hill's got his hands full trying to manage both of those lines now, and you see they're equal, which gives Sam Mayer a much better shot. Sammy Smith's the car I've had my eye on right there. You see he hangs Mayer out, rides right there in the
Didn't
middle.
work for Sam Mayer.
No,
Because they need some help here. As we watch on board here, Austin Hill.
You're on
And
that
on board.
41 we're not worried about.
Look where his head is pointed all the time, at the mirror. He's gonna be watching that, seeing which one has momentum. The spotter's gonna be telling him how far back those cars are, which ones are gaining, which lanes, and he's gonna just hop between them right now if he does it perfectly to keep that lane.
Right behind Sammy Smith in that 8 car. 26 is Dean Thompson. Behind him, the 24 of Harrison Burton. Teammates at Sam Hunt Racing showing speed just like they did in this race a year ago organizationally. Last year, Ryan Truex was driving that 24. We know how good Harrison Burton is in the draft. And now we introduce you to the Toyota onboard camera riding with Brandon Jones.
yeah, and as we ride on with Brandon Jones, I want you to watch the lane on the left. Because of the distance, that bottom lane's going to make up 1 or 2 car lengths through the middle of the corner. But then watch, as soon as we come off the corner, all the momentum is on the top. And it's just kind of a balance of the distance versus the momentum and the more cars maybe being in the outside lane. Sammy Smith made that look pretty easy. When he pulled down to the bottom, I thought he was able to maneuver up through there fairly quickly. It stalled out a little bit right here.
Brent Jones gets stuck to the middle.
It just feels like a parachute was on the back of your car when you get stuck and both lanes are going by on both sides.
And that hurts a little bit of the momentum on the bottom lane there because it breaks up that lane a little bit. You see Sam there falls back to Harrison Burton.
Yeah, what's really gonna separate this is when Jesse Love decides to make his move on Austin Hill, because I do think he'll be able to generate a run, but he's not going to do that till the last lap, most likely down, into the last turn, or maybe try to catch him off guard.
And we saw him practice it just a couple laps ago. He sort of dove the inside, then dove the top, just trying to see how that's going to work, because that's going to be his move to almost catch Austin Hill sweeping so they can get to his inside.
And what he wants to do is, at this point of the track right here, on the exit of turn 2, he'll want to lag back a little bit to build a little bit of a gap between himself and Austin Hill. Then hopefully that'll gather up Carson Waffle, who's right behind him, and get a push, and he'll try to make that pass down into turn 3. But if you're on the flip side, if you're in the 21, when you see that gap starting to develop behind you, you'll roll out of the throttle to try to back up into him. But it's a vicious game.
Austin Hill is a master of that. He will tell you when we get competition meetings how he'll ride at the front at 50% throttle and just timing that perfectly. He doesn't let those gaps get too big behind him. He knows the reference in his mirror. His spotter and him have worked on it so much that he's so good at not allowing you to get that run.
8 laps to go in the stage. And as we head toward the end of this opening stint of the race, I'll remind everybody, championship format has changed in 2026. We've gone to the chase. No longer win and you're in. Points are a premium. But we're still paying points at the end of these stages for the drivers that finish inside the top 10. You want to take all you can get, so the maneuvers will be aggressive here as we head toward that green and white checkered flag.
Sheldon Creed in that red and yellow 00 right here gave his teammate Sam Mayer a massive shot down the backstretch. And I saw Sam Mayer have to put his hand out the window because Sammy Smith had pulled down. But Sheldon's as good at pushing as anybody in this series. That's the guy you want to have behind you. He just can't get that bottom lane to stay organized enough.
It just keeps sort of failing here in the bottom a little bit and falling back. So it just can't seem to get enough cars down there committed to each other. We constantly see cars get chucked to the middle. That just kills momentum out of that bottom lane right now.
But I like the 5 or 6 cars that we have lined up down there. Those are all fast cars. Junior Motorsports, Haas Factory team as well. All Chevrolets. Brandon Jones decides to come down and join that group as well. It gets frustrating when you're back there in 10th or 12th. You got 7 laps to go. You know you're going to have to make a move sooner than later because it's going to get chaotic here with 1 or 2 to go in the front.
6 to go this time by in stage number 1 at Daytona for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Austin Hill has led 22 circuits so far.
What about Jeremy Clements also in fifth right there? We saw him get spun on that initial start. Looked like his day was off to a bad start. 25
Wow.
spots you see on the left of your screen how far he's been able to move up.
That's a nice setup to our Powerball power movers. Clements the best of the bunch. Sanchez has been good at plus 17. Haven't said Parker Retzloff's name in a while. He's plus 16. Talked about Burton. Carson Quapple looking good as well.
Oh, Corey Day gets shoved down to the middle. He moved down, just did. Oh, can he get back in line right there?
He tried to time that when he saw the 8 was coming. He got notice of that. It was just too late. He wasn't decisive enough, and then tried to get back in front of Roger Cruth, gets into Blaine Perkins, and I think rear a little bit there.
I'm pretty sure Raja gave him a little bit of a break right there. Was trying to let him back in, but you kind of get sucked into the car. I think Raja cut him just a little bit of slack right there. Great job.
Sammy Smith with the head of steam he had it was like, heck no, I just worked in here for the last 5 laps. No way you're getting in front of me right now.
And the 5 is Luke Fenhouse. He's about to go a lap down, and that is big because he'd be the first car a lap down, and that could mess up Ryan Sieg. But here's Bryce Heidi, who might try to pass him. The battle for the free pass could be really big as we look to wrap up this opening stage. 4 laps to go. This time around, Austin Hill continues to work back and forth out front, managing the draft.
Oh, Brandon Jones looks like he might get to the inside of Dean Thompson if he's not able to. This is getting so good.
Arden Braun, thanks for tuning in. CW locally is where you can find this. If it isn't there, I don't really know where else visually you can watch it. Maybe on the CW app, but I have no other clue, visually at least. Obviously, we can listen to commentary here. And as of right now, I'll take you to the end of this first stage. Coming up on 3 laps to go this time by at the start-finish line. Austin Hill's broken away from his teammate Jesse Love for the time being. Love backing up on the back straightaway and could be in danger of falling out of second place. So despite the fact that RCR has been able to control the pack so far, we'll see if Sammy Smith, who is clear of second, will maybe try to make a run on Austin Hill. Hill and Smith staying to the bottom lane. Jesse Love trying to get another fight back on the high side. Justin Allgaier has done a great job to get back up inside the top 10, that number 7. And we are 3 by 3, at least 4 rows deep, just outside of the top 5. Love going down to try to side draft the third place car, Sam Mayer, on his wayward into turns 1 and 2. They got both the Haas cars nose to tail of Mayer and Creed as well. They can work together to try to get something done. Sammy Smith moved up into the middle lane, nowhere to go for him. Now all the way up to the outside in front of Jesse Love. He knows that 2 car's really, really fast. We'll see if Austin Hill can cover in time, and he does on entry into turn 3. Austin Hill's done a masterful job at lane changing when he needs to, making it look effortless, nothing crazy. Just kind of knowing where the runs are. Oh, we got a spinner. Corey Day off turn 4. He's headed for the inside wall. Oh, he saved it. He saved it. We stay green. Left rear tire's flat, though. I don't know if he's going to make it all the way back around to pit road. He just missed the pit road entrance. What a save by Corey Day. I thought he was going to hit the inside wall like Cletus McFarland did at the beginning of that truck race last night, but he did not. And he is going to have to nurse it. He's going to fall off the lead lap trying to make it back into the pits, though, that's for sure. That spaced out this lead pack quite a bit. Take a quick car count. It looks like there's only 10 cars up at the front of the field now. And we're going to try to finish this stage under green. They'll be coming up on the final lap this time by. Jesse Love has fallen nearly out of the top 5. He's the second car in line on the top. Sammy Smith in front of him. Big block, top, bottom. Hill on Sam Mayer. Nowhere to go for Mayer. And that's going to slow both of those cars down, losing momentum because of the lane changing going on in that quick of a manner. Allows for Sammy Smith to pull back into second. He's clear. We'll take the bottom lane. No, fakes, goes back high. Austin Hill going to try to block every which way he goes. Corey Day down the back straightaway, still trying to nurse his way. On to pit road. He's fishtailing quite a bit. I wonder if this is going to bring out a caution as we're coming to the end of the stage. Love back down to the bottom as he did the inside of Sammy Smith. He is into turn 1. They get crowded. A little bit of contact. Third lane up high coming. It's Carson Quapple in the 1 for Junior Motorsports. Oh, and now Sammy Smith gets turned, and we got a big wreck off of turn 4. 5 cars up against the wall. All of them were inside the top 10. Coming to the end of the first stage, the 19 of Gio Ruggiero won the ARCA race earlier today. All sorts of tore up. Front of the field was able to move on. I think the top 4 escaped it. Austin Hill is going to win the first stage under caution and didn't have to block all the way back to the line. A 1-2 finish for RCR. Hill in first, Jesse Love in second. Carson Quapple third, Justin Allgaier fourth, and Blaine Perkins rounds out the top 5 and 5th in this first stage. Sheldon Creed 6th, William Sawalich 7th, Nick Sanchez 8th, Jeremy Clements 9th, and Brandon Jones rounds out the top 10. Well, caution is out. Second time today. Lap 1 and then the final lap of stage 1. Hit crash before lap 1, crash for the final lap. Yep. Yeah, literally coming to the green and a crash coming to the green white checker. Both at or near the tri-oval. Middle was clean racing and close calls. Yes, it was. A lot of close calls, that's for sure. That was waiting to happen. If you have to see a replay, they went to a full screen commercial break at the end of the stage, so CW crew is going to diagnose the wreck when they come back from commercial. And Austin Hill, your stage 1 winner at Daytona, along with Jesse Love, just as they qualified in first and second at the start. Take a break here as we're at the end of this first stage. You're listening live KRC. Our coverage continues of the United Rentals 300. Ashton Smeekle, thanks for tuning in. Pulling for Nick Sanchez. Hope Fenhouse will get his car fixed. Few cars that were involved in the first incidents, quite a few of them, I should say, were all on the lead lap for the most part. Luke Fenhouse fell 1 lap down before the caution. And then Mason Maggio out of the race because of that first wreck. Now we're going to have quite a few more out of the race. Gio Ruggiero's definitely not going to be able to continue. Ruggiero, Harrison Burton, Corey Day. Well, Corey Day had a spin just before that, but he fell off the lead lap. So involved in this last crash was Gio Ruggiero, Harrison Burton. Ryan Sieg, no, he was a lap down before. Sammy Smith was caught up in the crash. Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, both the Haas cars involved. Well, well, well. Not ideal for anybody. This is a very long commercial break, I might add. We've had it for 3 caution laps. That's a long time. There we go.
NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Toyota, let's go places. And by the Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express card. Great night in Daytona Beach, Florida. The Wheeling caution lights are on as we wrap stage 1 with the crowd. What you're seeing on the track right now is the same Wheeling emergency warning technology used by police, fire, and EMS vehicles across America. trusted every day to protect those who protect us.
We take another look at this wreck here. So Sammy Smith slots, tries to get down the bottom here. Car gets a little loose, and then at that point, he's not clear. Sam Mayer still tries to get to the bottom.
Well, and in Dan Mayer's defense, when you get to that point, you almost get drawn into the car. You start rolling out, but you can't because there's someone behind you.
It's almost like we're right there. You see the loose. We got loose once. And at that point, Sam can't really back out anymore. He's just hoping you can gather it up.
I think it's a great example, Parker, for all watching to see how on edge the cars are, y'all. It just takes such a small contact to get those cars loose. But Sammy, you see him driving it inside of there. There's not a lot of damage to the 8 car. He came out about as well as anybody in this wreck.
No, the worst
Huge
hit I've seen. Yeah, Gio Rosero and Nick Sanchez there. That new AM Racing team, new ownership group.
Let's get it back down to Carla Metz at the Arby's pit box.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. We're getting ready to bring you all the action here from the Arby's pit box. We got chaos looming as crew guys getting ready to roll here. But first, from our Arby's pit box here to right here on pit road to revealing the Arby's paint scheme.
I've heard Arby's 4 times in one sentence.
Team, a kickoff concert for the agent Jimmy E. That's right, Jimmy E. World inside an Arby's restaurant, a legendary band in the middle of an American icon. The Arby's boys and fans knew it was an event worth turning up for, and Arby's offered them more than they expected. With good music plus meat in 3 boxes, giving them their fill of good food, an iconic band, an incredible crowd, and a whole lot of food all at Arby's. I'm not sure how they got so much in there, but I guess that's Arby's at Daytona for you. And as we head into the next stage of the race, it's the perfect time to fuel up with Arby's new $7.99 meat.
How many times are you going to say it? Oh my gosh. Stop.
Roast beef or crispy fish sandwich and 3 delicious sides. That's one meal for your money. Scan the QR code now to order in the Arby's app. Arby's, we have the meat.
13. I counted 13.
Pit road going to be open this time around. It's a fun game to see what the plan is in regard to tires, and you take tires over track position. Progressive pit road, a busy place. Let's go there now. Kim?
And you see Justin Allgaier at the top of your screen. He said, everybody is sideways. He said, I'm free. It's really hard to suck up. Crew Chief Andrew Overstreet calling a 4-tire stop 2 rounds down on the track bar. You see that adjustment right there. Under him, Austin Hill. Vibration during the first stage. Not bad. Never got worse. They thought maybe it was from scuffed tires. Said, you want to put on 4? Both Austin and Chad said, I'd rather not. So you saw, no, just 2 tires on that, Dylan.
Carson Quaffle was loose. They changed left side tires. Jesse Love changed left sides as well. Felt like his car was pretty good, but attributed a lot of that to the clean air he had at the front of the field.
+2 for Quaffle, +5 for Raja Karut as we get the race off Progressive Pit Road.
Yeah, Carson's pit road speed looks really fast right there. I don't know if Jesse could get going, but
And now we take a look at the replay. Brought to you by Progressive. Sydney, when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance, visit progressive.com. Get it saddled up and ready to go. The restart for stage 2 is next.
Yeah, after the 4th time, I was like, I'm going to keep track because this is already hilarious. And then they repeated Arby's 9 more times on that ad promo immediately after. All said by one person. A lot of Arby's. I feel like she was very much put on the spot and was not prepared for that at all. So just tried to shoehorn the word Arby's in the same promo as many times as they could. Crazy. Solomon Lee, thanks for tuning in. That was pretty funny. Not gonna lie. I didn't think it was gonna end. I want to see if that happens again at some point before the end of the race. Are we going to get that at the end of stage 2 also? Gerald Fouts, thanks for tuning in. Where's the race at? Local CW is where you can watch visually. At the Daytona International Speedway here tonight. Daytona 500 coverage will begin tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. Already only about 19 hours away from our first Cup Series race stream of the year. For points, at least. NASCAR RB Series. Yeah, maybe it will be the RB Series by the end of the season. If that's going to be an every week thing with the O'Reilly Series, we shoehorn Arby's into an ad promo like 13 times. It's crazy. I'm just going to keep track the rest of the stream to see how many times Arby's said over the broadcast. It might have been said even before that, because I wasn't watching the pre-race at all. A lot of laps under caution already. This yellow alone, with finishing under the yellow, we're on the 7th lap of caution. And then we had a handful of them earlier. Not a fan of Arby's. Roast beef and cheddar hits on specific days of the year, but I don't actively go to Arby's. It's never been an active choice of mine. On your CW is Homestead Rescue. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, for those of you unable to watch the race, I feel for you. 58 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 for tonight's race. About 45 minutes in. I'm 36 of 120 at the Daytona International Speedway. Top 5 in the running order after the race off of pit road has Jesse Love in the lead. Carson Quapple in second, Austin Hill third after winning stage 1. Raja Karuth in fourth, and Brandon Jones rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Lots and lots and lots of racing to go this weekend as a whole. Got 200 of them tomorrow for the Daytona 500. Not many 500-mile races anymore in the NASCAR realms. Kirby's cocked O'Reilly's. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Who wants Arby's after the race? It's going to be the Arby's 300 at Daytona. I don't know how many laps of caution we're going to run for the stage break. I get there was a crash coming to the end of it, but my goodness. This is way lengthier cleanup than what we had earlier on that opening lap, and there were more cars involved in that one. I guess it's going to be hard to keep count how many times Arby's is said because I don't have the audio unmuted
I never wanted
100% of the time.
a special paint scheme when we came to Daytona or Talladega for that exact reason. I wanted to have the paint scheme that I had every other week or more often just because everyone would know me.
Time now for the Freeway Insurance Choose, where every lane choice can change the race outcome. Going to be RCR Chevys on the front row once again. And row 2, a couple of guys from JRM, Carson Quapple and Raja Karuth. Kim?
I'm here at the Care Center where Gio Ruggiero has been released. I know this isn't what you wanted out of the debut in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. What happened?
Yeah, I thought we had a really fast number 18 Super. I just so unfortunate for our Joe Gibbs Racing team. I thought that the car was really good. We had some engine issues and actually made it up to the front there, so it just shows how fast our car was. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of these guys, they're racing in the series full time and don't have the common sense that you need to finish the race to win. So just unfortunate that we got collected in that.
Been a good weekend for him. Great success here in Daytona in the past, but unfortunately tonight doesn't work out for Gio Ruggiero, who will also be in the car next weekend at Echo Park Speedway down in Atlanta.
So we saw this hood sitting on the racetrack. I think we're gonna get a chance to see. There it goes.
Wow.
That's Luke Fenhouse. Oh boy, is it ever coming back?
Oh,
There it is.
Here's 5 Team Radio.
that was under caution.
Yeah, and if you look at the tape on the front of that, they got in that first lap incident. A little bit of air gets under the hood. The hood doesn't weigh a whole lot. It's a
Carbon piece.
yeah, carbon. I was trying to come up with the right term there. And honestly, it was best off that it did get ripped off because I've had it come up and just cover the windshield. You can't see, and it's full panic mode.
Hey, by the way, Corey Day gets the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. Ryan.
Crazy. I haven't really seen a whole hood get ripped off a car like that. Under caution, he was trying to catch up to the back of the pack. Had some damage from earlier. Didn't tape the nose down obviously well enough, and the hood got a little bit of air underneath it, and away she goes. Green flag back in the air. Jesse Love is going to restart as the leader. Austin Hill inside of row number 1. These two did a fantastic job, as usual, on the super speedways to finish first and second, right where they qualified to start the race and finish there at the end of the opening stage. So Austin Hill got the stage win, but Jesse Love won the race off of pit road. That's why he's the leader right now. Love trying to get back-to-back season opening Daytona wins. I was going to say the last driver to do that was Austin Hill the 3 years before that. Don't have to go very far back in the history books to find that out. So by the time we actually went green, only 22 laps to go in the second stage. We'll see if we go green all the way through. Lane changing back and forth every few seconds, it seems like, between Jesse Love and whether he takes the top or bottom. All the way down the front stretch, same thing in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and I'm sure the back straightaway is going to be much more than that. Up to the high side right off the exit of turn 2. Back down to the bottom to help pull his teammate Austin Hill along. Back to the top again, and back to the bottom entering the corner. Lane change 4 times down the back straightaway alone here at Daytona. Now Austin Hill's going to get a pull forward. He's clear in second place. So a little bit of a buffer now for the 21, and Hill's probably going to try to do the same thing Jesse Love was doing as he controls both the top and the bottom of the racetrack. Love trying to mirror drive those simultaneously. He wants to keep the 21 and everybody in his rearview mirror. Those two cars are just blocking for their lives, sticking up for one another, trying to keep them up at the front of the field. Highside's got a lot more momentum off the exit of turn 2. Austin Hill's getting a big bump draft from behind by Raja Karuth in the 88. And now the 21 gives the 2 a big bump draft, and they're going to get well out ahead of the pack. 2x2 racing from third on back. Hill went to go and pull to the bottom on William Sawalich. The 18 car just got his nose underneath the left rear of Hill. Hill had to evade back to the high side. A bluff, if you will. Jesse Love going to stay out in front, leading these laps consecutively at Daytona. Top to bottom. Like bottom to top and then back to the bottom. And now back to the top off turn 2. No 3 wide racing in the pack yet. We'll see if anybody tries to jump out of line sometime soon. Coordinated 2x2 up until you get to the leader, who, despite keeping the lead, I wouldn't say that coordinated is the best way to describe Jesse Love trying to hold the pack, but at all costs, not wanting to lose control of the race. And nobody's really seeming to ride around patiently right now either. Sawalich got clear for second. He pulled to the bottom trying to make a move on Love. Love covers it immediately. Outside line is losing a little bit of momentum. Austin Hill trying to side draft the third place car, Justin Allgaier, to keep from losing more ground. 18 goes up to block the 21 to the high side. And now Sammy Smith will pull out of line with Sam Mayer. Both those drivers involved in that last lap crash in stage 1. So they're going to split 3 wide, only 2 cars left in the middle lane as everybody else just kind of went to the bottom in front of Sammy. It's like Austin Green, and I can't tell who is behind him in line. Like maybe Dean Thompson in the 26. Yes, it is Thompson. We're going to be halfway through stage 2 next time by at the line. Oh, little contact door to door, middle of the back straightaway between Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier a couple laps ago. 21 just kind of poked down, a little bit of contact. I'm not sure if he just got too close on a side draft or what that was. Push got a little loose, but I don't think that was the case. Daniel Dye up the middle in the number 10. 52, sorry. He was in the 10 car last season full time, but he's actually back in the Truck Series full time this year. Ran with Colleague last season in Xfinity, and then obviously Colleague making the move down to trucks with Dodge Ram and staying with the organization. Different series now. William Sawalich going to get to the outside of Jesse Love down the back straightaway, and he's going to take the lead as he's out in front of both the 21 and the 2. Love still leading the bottom lane. Austin Hill was able to pull clear in second, move to the bottom underneath of Sawalich. I don't know if the 18's actually going to lead a lap this time. And as Austin Hill gets underneath him off the exit of turn 4, a quick side draft by Sawalich and pulls away from him. And it will be Sawalich. Nope, not quite. Austin Hill pulled him right back. Shortest way around the track. Going through the tri-oval on the double yellow line, and he is able to lead the lap regardless. So it was a lead change because Love led the lap before, but it's Austin Hill leading and not Sawalich. That last time by at the line, a difference 0.13 of a second. Had a photo finish to the end of a stage in the truck race last night when Carson Hocevar won stage 1. Then a near 4 wide finish at one point coming into the tri-oval, where Chandler Smith was able to get the race win at the end of the night. Stage 2 ended under yellow in the truck race, so stage 1 here today ending under yellow. Maybe we'll get a photo finish, and then wild 3 and 4 wide battle on the final lap like we did in trucks, and everything will stay on par. We had 6 cautions in the truck race in 100 laps yesterday, so 2 cautions already, both for incident in the first 47 out of 120 laps today. Jesse Love has found his way back into second behind his teammate Austin Hill. Coming up on a lap car, Sheldon Creed in the 00, who has damage from the following incident, lost the lead draft on the restart. So damage definitely not helping him out. A couple rows of 3 wide at the back of his lead pack. And he's going to get down below the WL line out of the way. And it looks like he's actually going to come back to pit road again. So repairs continue for the 00 of Sheldon Creed. He's 5 laps down, just pulling into the pits in 35th place. There are 31 cars on the lead lap. First car lap down would be Carson Hocevar in the 32nd place position. And the only cars out of the race entirely are Nick Sanchez, Gio Ruggiero, and Mason Maggio, 36 through 38. Top 10 in the running order has Austin Hill in the lead late in stage 2. Jesse Love in second, Justin Allgaier third, Raja Caruth is fourth, Taylor Gray fifth, Carson Quapple sixth, Jeb Burton seventh, eighth is Brandon Jones, William Sawalich ninth, Daniel Dye rounds out the top 10. Changes for tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go live for the Daytona 500. So you got 1 p.m. Eastern instead of 1:30. Still got to adjust that stream start time. Didn't give myself a chance to between streams here today.
Closed captioning for today's race brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever.
Look at Raja Cruz get to the back bumper here. Jesse Love. I think Raja's doing an awesome job up here. He has Sammy Smith down the bottom by himself. He's going to need someone to come with him.
I mean, and Sammy is on the lead lap. So is Corey Day. Drivers that have been bounced around a little bit tonight, but that's right in the game.
I thought Raja did a great job. He hung William Swalch out in turn 4 of the last lap. Had his teammate Carson Quapple right there behind him. See, it's pushed Swalch back, kind of in the middle. 8 car, though, we talked about it, not a lot of damage. Had a massive run right there. I'm going to count him out. I think we're going to see him back to the front of this pack.
That position he's working from as they go down the corners. That middle group all comes up in front of him, makes his line stronger, and then they sort of go to that middle portion. If you can just use that to the corner to join them, he's still beside William Sawalch right now. Jesse Love dives the bottom.
Who's been quietly good tonight? Justin Allgaier. Just hanging around, top 5 in the opening stage, 3rd right now. Sitting beside his teammate Roger Carruth, who also is off to a really good start.
Well, Jesse Love in the red and white 2 is doing a lot of the work for Austin Hill. Austin Hill's just let him kind of slow both of those lanes down. We'll see if the 88 and the 1 can get hooked up together here, trying to generate a run on the outside.
Yes, okay, that guy's off turn 4, sort of had to walk off the corner. Just saw that rear end wiggling around a little bit. Cam, you have more on the 17?
Yeah, that 17 jumping up to the 16th position after taking that big lick to the left rear. The damage on the left rear into the tail, the team felt like was pretty decent. They did make repairs. They were worried about stability. Car feels okay, but Corey is struggling with the air, describing it as very turbulent. The team told him just be smart. If they can't race up to get points in this stage, take it easy and take care of it, they told him, Dylan.
And Cam will give you a Toyota driver update on the driver racing for 4th. That's Taylor Gray in the 54. Felt like he was in position to win this race a year ago, but a couple wrong moves late in the going ultimately made the difference. Taylor said earlier today, I feel like a year's worth of confidence and knowledge in myself is going to help me make some of those important moves when it really counts today. He's done a good job of that so far, racing inside the top 5. Just a small track bar adjustment the last time down pit road for the 54.
He was a player last night, Truck Series race, got crashed late. And speaking of being crashed, over half the field in this race tonight has received damage at some point in the 2 dust-ups we had, one at the beginning of stage 1, one right there as we saw the green and white checkered flag. Among them, Sam Mayer, but he stayed on the lead lap, and here he is in the top 10, coming to 8 to go in our 2nd stage.
It looks to me like the handling of the 2 car up front is starting to go away. I saw it looked like he got really tight off turn 2. Actually allowed the 88 behind him to get a run, which put him in a good position, and that's sometimes how that works. But it looks to me like Jesse Love has his hands full right now.
I don't think he's the only one. I think handling tonight is going to be at a premium amongst looking at all these cars wiggle off the corners.
Austin Hill out front. To go, stage 2 at Daytona.
All right. Austin Hill, Jesse Love continue to lead. We'll go through the full field running order as we are at the conclusion of lap 53. Now on to lap 54 at Daytona. Hill in the lead, Jesse Love second. That last time by at the start-finish line. Raja Carruth third. 4th place for Justin Allgaier and Carson Quapple rounds out the top 5 in 5th. 6th is Brandon Jones. Taylor Gray 7th. Jeremy Clements 8th. Parker Retzlaff 9th. And Jeb Burton rounds out the top 10. 11th is Blaine Perkins. William Sawalich 12th. Austin Green 13th. Dean Thompson 14th. Sammy Smith in 15th. 16th, Sam Mayer. Corey Day in 17th. Daniel Dye 18th. Patrick Starpoli 19th. And Kyle Sieg rounds out the top 20. 21st, Patrick Emmerling, Jordan Anderson, 22nd, Josh Balicki, 23rd, LeVar Scott, 24th, 25th for Anthony Alfredo, Brendan Poole, 26th, 27th is Natalie Decker, Josh Williams, 28th, Ryan Sieg, 29th, and Ryan Ellis in 30th. Carson Ware, 31st, 32nd is Carson Hosevar, first car off the lead lap. Luke Fenhouse just went a second lap down moments ago. He's in 33rd. Harrison Burton, 34th, 35th for Sheldon Creed, Nick Sanchez, 36th. Gio Ruggiero 37th, and Mason Maggio rounds out our 38-car field. 17 spots gained for Sammy Smith since the restart after being involved in the accident right at the end of stage 1. Corey Day also involved in that same accident, up 15 spots to 14th from the restart. They're the biggest movers so far in stage 2. 5 laps to go this time by in the 2nd stage. Points awarded to the top 10. Can Austin Hill win the first 2 stages of tonight's race at Daytona? We'll have to wait and see. Robert Goodrich, thanks for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Challenge all of you to give $1. Appreciate that, Robert. It's much appreciated. Harvey's ad just came on. Oh, yeah, I got one too. That's coincidental. I'm just curious with the end of stage 2 coming up if they're going to try to put like 13 times where the word Arby's is said. They've got the meat. Yes, they do. They've got all the meat. 4 laps to go in stage 2 as we are back from the side-by-side commercial break. Full racing now on the CW. Top 4 in the outside line are single file before Brandon Jones leads the bottom. Jesse Love is coming with him after he had fallen out of the second place position right as they cut the commercial. Pulled back to about 6th or 7th spot and trying to work himself back forward again. Brandon Jones trying to utilize some kind of a side draft, but Jesse Love is losing even more time down the back straightaway. He is not able to catch that 20 car. Oh, what's going on with Jesse? Unless the 20 is that slow in front of him. Outside lane stacking up a little bit right behind Caruth in second place. I'm not sure if he was backing up to get a run or what that was. But things were bottlenecking quick, and Sammy Smith wanted out of there, and he's got Corey Day to come along with him. And I believe those two have followed each other front to back all the way through the pack on this second stage. And they're right back where they were at the end of stage number 1 with very minimal damage despite being involved in that last incident. Austin Hill lane changing back and forth. Roger Caruth from second pulls out a line, gets to the inside of Hill. Can he get to the lead? He's got his junior motorsport teammate right behind him, Sammy Smith. The other 2 of his teammates could not go with him. There wasn't enough room. That was Carson Quapple and Justin Allgaier, who are on the outside now behind Hill. 2 laps to go, stage 2. We've been green all the way through the second stage. Mostly 2x2. Nobody's pulled into a third line yet or has had the room and ability to be able to do so. Carson Quapple pushing Austin Hill clear of the pack into turn 1. And Hill's going to move down to the bottom in the center of the corner to cover the inside. He's got 2 Junior Motorsport Chevys on the bottom and 2 on the top that he's going to have to block to try to hold on to win the second stage. He doesn't have his teammate back there to help him out this time. So Hill on his own. Stays on the top side all the way down the back straightaway, down to the bottom, entering turns 3 and 4. There's just so much speed overall in that 21 car, and we see that over and over again every time we go to these super speedways. Oh, off the apron, and then almost up into the cars to the outside of him was Corey Days. He nearly got another spin off of turn 4 late in the stage. Final lap. He made slight contact with the 27, and then the third car on the outside got a piece of the wall. Hopefully he can make it back around. Meanwhile, back straightaway, battle for the lead continues. Can Carson Quapple make a move on Austin Hill? Can Raja Caruth maybe get back in it? He's losing ground on the bottom. Quapple pulled low late on the back straightaway into turn 3. Now back to the outside. Austin Hill covers both lanes. One last shot off turn 4. Quapple with a run. Austin Hill goes to the bottom of the block. Quapple back to the top, and Hill covers. A push by Allgaier to the back of the one, but Austin Hill holds on. And Austin Hill will sweep the stages at Daytona, as he usually seems to do. By about 1/10 of a second, he crosses the start-finish line ahead of the 2 Junior Motorsport Chevys of Quapple and Allgaier. So Austin Hill wins the first 2 stages of tonight's race. Good start to the points-paying season for him. Carson Quapple at second, Justin Allgaier third, William Sawalich fourth. Roger Caruth rounds out the top 5 in 5th. 6th was Parker Retzlaff. 7th for Sammy Smith. Jeremy Clements 8th. Jeb Burton 9th. And Blaine Perkins rounds out the top 10. This is our 3rd caution of the race. This is the stage break, so not for incident. At the end of lap 60, and we are now halfway home in tonight's O'Reilly Series race at Daytona. Stage 2 goes caution-free after we had the bookend Stage 1 cautions on the opening lap and final lap of the stages. See if we get the Arby's ads at the end of stage 2 again. So Austin Hill is going to win the opening stage. Carson Kvapil in second. Justin Allgaier third. William Sawalich again in fourth. And Raja Karuth rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Pit stops upcoming shortly. We'll take a quick break. Before that, you're listening live on KRC to our full flag-to-flag coverage of the United Rentals 300. Ten subscribers away from 6,900 on the channel, and our goal to get to 7,000 subs here in Speed Week 2026. Thanks for everybody joining along on the channel over the first couple weeks of the season. Thanks, AJF. Not the big one anymore, it's the Arby's one. All right. Arby's mentioned again. Oh boy. They go into the Arby's pit box. I'll have it muted this time. Don't worry. I won't air that over our airways this time around. Oh, yep, there it is. There's the Arby's ad coming back from commercial. Tell you what, they must have paid the CW and NASCAR a lot of money to have their advertisement during these O'Reilly Series races. Yeah, lights are on, sun is down at the Daytona International Speedway. It is complete darkness. Has been for a little bit now. Yeah, I mean, after that slow start with the long opening lap caution, this race has flown by since. Past halfway, and 6 lead changes in this race. We had quite a few in the truck race last night, but we had 24 lead changes in that race, and 6 of them. That's it through 63 laps here. It's been the Austin Hill show yet again on a super speedway. Just outclassing the field, car, driver alike. It's been the combination of the two that has led to Austin Hill's success at Daytona, and a teammate from time to time, with knowing Jesse Love's been just as good on these super speedways. I would say, though, he's done a much better job, Jesse Love that is, than, say, like a Sheldon Creed or any of Austin Hill's teammates in the number 2 before that on these super speedways, of actually being able to get multiple wins and finish right there in line behind Hill on numerous occasions. Pit road's open.
The top of your screen, he said that last adjustment was good. The car is definitely better. They'll look to take right side tires only on this stop. Below him, Austin Hill said he was a number 1 or 2 more tighter. This run car was okay. They'll take right side to make a small adjustment for him, Dylan.
Carson Kvapil saying he's just a little bit light on corner exit. He'll change right side tires and fill up full of fuel. Raja Karuth just asked to be tightened up a little bit. He's overall pretty happy with the balance. Looks like just right in fuel for the 80.
Fuel only for Austin Hill as he wins the race off pit road. William Sawalich was second. Justin Allgaier third. Brandon Jones up 8 spots in fourth. And Carson Kvapil rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Then he had Karuth, Taylor Gray, Daniel Dye the next few out after him. Okay. Final stage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series season opener at Daytona, the United Rentals 300. A little under an hour and 15 minutes to get to this point. 64 laps in out of 120. Final stage at Daytona brought to you by Arby's. Maybe. Sure, we haven't seen Arby's for the last time today. The fact that this is the first race of the season, we're going to be seeing that for a long time this year, aren't we? 72 likes. Our goal is to get to 100 by the end of this race. We are past halfway home and just past halfway to our goal, so be sure to hit that like button so we can keep our streak alive of getting to our like goal during every live commentary stream of the weekend. Hocevar get the free pass? I believe so. Yes, Carson Hocevar did get the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. First car lap down at the end of the last stage. I believe he was involved in the incident late in stage 1. Lost a lap. Not sure how much damage he has. Either that or he fell a lap down because of damage from the first incident, but I would assume that's why he was a lap down. Haven't heard anything otherwise. Final stage brought to us by ABC Insurance, all broken cars. Yeah, there you go. All broken cars insurance. All right, well, big save for Corey Day. He's had 2 of them. Right off the end of the stage. I wonder if it's a product of pushing just a little bit too hard and having the issues he's had. He's got a little bit of left rear corner panel damage. I'm sure that is probably not helping the handling either. Maybe less of that rear spoiler getting caught by the air to kind of help keep the car straight. What's for dinner, JoJo? Maybe Arby's. Maybe. The Arby's 300. It is kind of funny, though, that the title sponsors of the races seem to get way less of the actual product placement on a week-to-week basis in NASCAR than other advertisement companies that pay for, like, other stuff, like the Arby's Pit Box. All right. Oh, trying to finish at New Smyrna a couple weeks ago. Oh, boy. Oh boy. Modified race. Who won it? Spencer Gallagher? Can't tell. It looks like it might be him, but I'm not entirely sure. And if it is, I didn't know he worked on the pit crew in the 88 bunch. I don't know who that is. If anybody's got audio on it, let me know in the chat. Love to know who they're highlighting right now on the CW Sports broadcast. Right. Austin Hill will take the inside of row number 1. I believe his teammate, no, actually, it was Allgaier who was just behind him. I saw a red car take the bottom lane. It was not Jesse Love. Love is on the bottom, but he's in row 5. So Hill, Sawalich, row 1. Row 2 is going to be Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, then Raja Caruth, Carson Kvapil, row 3. Daniel Dye, Taylor Gray, row 4. I take interest in the modifieds. I mean, I watch them every once in a while. I actually watched the NASCAR Classics race from the Daytona Oval short track on the back straightaway they used to have during Speed Weeks like a week or two ago. And that was a caution-filled race. That was night Kyle Larson was in it and competing up towards the very end. Bump and run on the last lap, and Mike Stefanik ended up getting hosed out of a win, and he was very upset in his post-race interview. Yeah, all 20 points for Austin Hill so far through stage 1, 17 for Kvapil, 15 for Allgaier, 11 for Sawalich, and 9 for Jesse Love, which were all in stage 1 where he finished second. No stage points for Love in stage 2. Those were the 5 drivers who scored the most stage points of anybody here tonight at Daytona. Well, who's going to get the race win and get those additional 55 points? We'll have to wait and see. All right, Austin Hill, see what you got. Green, white, checkered flag in the air. Can he go for the clean sweep again here at Daytona tonight and win all 3 stages? Great race start. Great push from behind by Justin Allgaier as well out of the race start zone. The 2 Chevys lead the way on the bottom with 2 Toyotas up high. Really, there's a line of 5 Chevys in a line on the bottom, and then the 2 Toyotas with a bunch of Chevys behind them, or at least a mixed bag of Chevys and Toyotas on the outside. Austin Hill back to the lane changing even as we're getting up to speed in turns 1 and 2. 53 laps to go at the Daytona International Speedway as we begin the 3rd and final stage of tonight's race. Everybody will have to make 1 pit stop at some point in time for fuel and tire purposes. That fuel window is going to be just shy of 40 laps under green flag conditions with these O'Reilly Series cars at Daytona. Austin Hill is going to go on and lead the first green flag lap of stage 3, a little less than a half a car length ahead of Allgaier, who just slipped underneath him entering the tri-oval, but couldn't get his nose first out in front. He's got his teammate Raja Caruth behind him, but not close enough to give him a push. Allgaier trying to make these runs all on his own, with his fast race car and the mix of side drafting going on the straightaways to keep from losing more ground to the leader above him. It's 1 row of 3 wide further back in this lead pack, make that 2 now. Sam Mayer and Dean Thompson working their way up the middle. Jeremy Clements in the 51. Now stranded in the middle all by himself. Nobody there anymore. Now he's back on the bottom, and it's Blaine Perkins in the 31 who moves up. It's all going on outside the top 15 or so. A lot less cars in that middle and bottom lane of the racetrack than what there is up on the high side. I wonder if this is going to start a single file line perhaps for at least a little bit of tameness early in this final stage. Well, no, maybe not. So Walsh didn't want to waste any time. He got right on that left rear corner panel of Hill, got him a bit loose. There may have been some contact. Either that or he took the air off the rear spoiler. One of the two. Lost some momentum. That's going to stack the entire pack up double wide now behind him. So the inside's got a few more cars and numbers once that happened. But nobody was able to get by Hill. So Walsh got underneath him, but he almost kind of lost his own momentum. Wonder if he slipped it too close and might have burped the throttle and lifted and broke his momentum because Hill got loose. Could have been another reason as to why he maybe lifted. Oh, another HendrickCars.com Chevy having some problems there. Raja Caruth trying to squeeze into the outside. Clipped a car or two up there, nearly caused an incident. Caruth falls out of the top 10. Lost a ton of momentum even after getting up into the outside because of that sideways moment he had right in the middle of the corner. Last time by at the start-finish line, Austin Hill was the leader. Jesse Love second. William Sawalich in third. Corey Day fourth. Fifth is Brandon Jones. And sixth is Carson Quapple. Sam Mayer seventh. Taylor Gray eighth. Justin Allgaier ninth. And Blaine Perkins rounds out the top 10. 27 positions gained for Corey Day on the restart. How the heck did he gain that many spots in a matter of, what, 5 laps? 4 laps? That's wild. Must have tried to make some extra adjustments after getting loose at the end of stage 2 and that slight damage he has from the tag against the wall late in stage 1 that he has on that left rear corner panel. He's going to be fighting those loose conditions probably most of the night, but he's got that dirt track racing prowess to try to help him out along the way. Keep control of that race car the best he can. We are down under 50 laps to go in the Daytona O'Reilly Series opener. Handful of rows now, 3 wide in the pack. Somebody looked like they might have brushed the wall, middle of the back straightaway, in the middle of that outside line, about 5-6 rows deep. In the mass of this scrum, Jesse Love has found himself back towards the front of the field behind his teammate yet again. Austin Hill not only has won the first 2 stages of tonight's race, but he has just outright dominated. Trying to look to see how many laps he's led so far. Best lap was lap 41. 60 laps led for Austin Hill. We got another spinner off into turn 1. The 87 has gone around. But out of the way, so we stay green. No oncoming traffic. That's been a precedent NASCAR has set this weekend, really since the dual race when we saw Casey Mears spin in the grass on the front stretch and he ended up losing the lap. Caution came out as they were stuck too far. The leaders were getting their way off the exit of turn 4. If there's a spin from a car or a couple of cars and they're out of the way and there's no oncoming traffic, this race stays green. We've seen that all weekend. ARCA, truck, and the dual races. So now here in O'Reilly, it's happened twice. The save Corey Day made, and I'm glad that NASCAR isn't having that quick trigger, and they're letting things kind of play out just to see if so-and-so saves whatever mishap that they end up having. And I think Austin Green's got a flat tire because he's trying to work his way back into the pits, and he is very slow off the exit of turn 2 on the apron. Sam Mayer also up over 20 spots since the restart. 21 positions gained to 3rd place. Bottom lane single file through the front 5 cars in the pack. Led by Hill and Love. I think I remember making the mark now that I think about it last year that Jesse Love won on Valentine's Day weekend. So here on Valentine's Day it'd be kind of fitting if the guy with the last name Love ends up winning the race yet again. It's in the name. Bookmark it. Does that make it definitive? We'll have to see. Wait, let this play out. We'll take our first break of the final stage. You're listening live on KRC as we're down to just 44 laps to go in Daytona. We'll go through the top 5 again. Austin Hill leads. Jesse Love in 2nd. Sam Mayer 3rd. Justin Allgaier 4th. William Sawalich in 5th. Outside lane is starting to build a surge yet again, led by Harrison Burton in the 24.
Power around the Park Series at Daytona. You're watching the coverage on CW, brought to you by Arby's. Austin Hill continues out front, 63 laps led tonight. His teammate Jesse Love right behind him has led 9. Look at Sam Mayer. I mean, he's been beaten around in this race. Some damage on the 41 for the Haas factory team, but he finds his way up to 3rd. And now we look at the fuel meter presented by Fuel by Franzia. And you can see here, everybody is good on foot, but you want to get onto pit road earlier than the window calls for so you can control the race, maintain that track position. And the number we heard in the garage today hit right around 38 to 40 to go. You could pit now, but we think it's going to be a few more laps to ensure you have money in the bank should we get an overtime.
Yeah, pay attention to the outside lane right there. Harrison Burton in the silver, number 24. We saw him move up. He was in the bottom line. It wasn't going anywhere. Moved up in front of William Sawalich. Honestly, that's not the car you want leading. Looking at the damage to the front of that car, but they've been able to make up a little bit of ground. Slowly but surely working their way to the front.
We're taking a look here. Also, Green saw him spinning there. Oh, that's Patrick Stampoli just moves down. Patrick's also Green there. Goes for a ride to the infield here. He ended up having to lock it down at one point. I'm going to try to maybe keep it rolling because now you're going to explode those tires. He did get it rolling eventually. So no caution.
Interesting, Harrison Burton up there. You know, lap down, first car 1 lap down. So if he can get a caution, get the free pass, even though the car is damaged, you know what happens here. I mean, you just get on the lead lap and you put yourself in contention in case there's a big crash, or maybe you can rally late.
Yeah, the closer Harrison Burton gets to the front, the more impatient these guys behind Austin Hill are going to get. You kind of get content with the amount of laps we have left. Riding right there because you're in a good, safe position. But as that outside lane approaches, everybody wants to position themselves the best to be at the end of this. And you can see the cars, their handling starting to go away. They're dancing around. Everybody's complaining about being extremely loose tonight.
Except for one guy, Austin Hill, who's had the cleanest view. And if this feels dominant more so than ever, this is the most laps he's led in a Daytona race. Previous high was 53. We're at 66 right now.
Well,
that he's been at the front.
we think he's going to get the hang of this.
You know, he's probably got a
We feel
chance.
like he might figure it out sooner than later.
Oh, by the way, next Saturday night, we're going to his home racetrack. You'll see it on the CW, Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. He's unbelievable there as well.
Just has such a feel and a knack for this, combined with a fast race car from RCR. You know, his teammate there, Jesse Love, drove through the field earlier, making passes that no one else could make, but once we got to his teammate, that stopped. Can't get past that car.
Look at that low lane. We talked about Corey Day. Right behind him,
here we go.
Parker Retzloff having a good night. Blaine Perkins there as well has scored stage points. He's in the top 10, and now here we go. Scheduled green flag pit stop.
Is this our luck? That's 100 bars wave their hands there, and that'll work against them if they're the only two that come for fuel right here because they will not run as quick.
To all the RCR affiliate cars there. You have Jordan Anderson, race team from Blaine Perkins, Viking Motorsport, Retzloff, Kim.
And first green flag stops of the night, and Austin Hill has a different crew than we've seen with him the past few years. The 8th Club crew, with the exception of a rear changer, they said, "Are we going to stick to the plan?" They said, "Yes, that plan." You need Austin Hill, Dylan.
Fuel one thing as well for teammate Jesse Love. They made a huge track car adjustment the last time down to get Jesse better in traffic. He drove from 9th to 2nd there under green flag conditions.
You go fuel only. You don't want to slide your tires coming in because then you would have to change if this is a lot to manage and execute.
But Adam, the outlier here is there was 5 or 6 cars that pitted together there. the lap time that they can run when they pull back out versus the lap time that these guys who've now gotten all single file, Parker, and I think that's going to benefit them greatly on the overall time. They might get a little bit of a buffer built in.
Austin Hill was also not the first one pit road of that group that came there together. Something we'll think about as everything cycles through. Taylor Gray in making his scheduled stop. The same for Daniel Dye. 38 laps remaining, and we're in the cycle of scheduled green flag pit stops. You pit here, you should be able to go to the end unless we get a couple of overtimes.
And we'll get an idea right here, Aaron, about 20 seconds of the lap time difference between what this pack that has not pitted yet is running for a lap time versus those guys that pitted a lap ago.
And this is exactly what this pack wants. They're single file, making good lap times. Trader there, Williams Sawallich dives off. Brandon Jones didn't go with him.
Yeah, looked like he was by himself. Absolute no-no.
Looks like a miscommunication right there. Not everybody got the memo of when you need to pit. So the leaders right there ran a 48 flat. If I go back to Jesse Love, who you see right here, is going to come by the start-finish line.
What I noticed about that, Love and Perkins both in front of Hill, right? I mean, you find yourself in position to take control once everything cycles.
Pack's going around, start pulling in the 48.
Yeah, so looking at that lap time, they lost 0.6 of a second on that lap versus the leaders. If you do that for 2 or 3 more laps, that's going to build you enough that you're going to cycle in front of those guys. They just got to hope they can stay in line and keep generating these lap times that they're running.
Yeah, that's the key. Don't race each other. Right. Stay nose to tail and make the most of your drafting opportunity.
And the team, the crew chiefs of spotters, they all have to communicate that to the drivers. Like our goal here is about getting away from these guys.
If you want to beat the RCR cars, you've got to make lap time right now to get ahead of them. Put them further back in this pack when you get through the pit stop and rejoin.
It looks like a lot of these guys are going to pit right here. I saw some more hands out the window.
Leading this group, Sam Mayer. Got some Chevys from Junior Motorsports. See how everybody works together getting on to pit road.
Nope.
They broke even that last lap.
That was with the pass around start pulling, which kind of broke up this line a little bit.
So really, they're only about a second ahead right now from where they were, which is still a lot. I mean, when we come in, cycle ahead, but these guys have now gotten in line. Actually, for William Swallich right there in the orange and white car, that's worked out well for him because it looked to me like he was going to be on an island of his own.
Yeah, I was really worried. A lot of hands out the window here. These stops will come with 34 remaining.
Saw everybody wave but Mayer, hoping that he knows that they're all going to pit or he's going to be in a bad position by himself out there by a whole lap.
And this could be the biggest group we have come on together, which I'm assuming exaggerates the potential for problems even more.
Renee does a great job. Hasn't done a lot of green flag pit stops, and that's a good place to go. Great job on 17.
Here they are, Kim.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Justin does because Andrew Overstreet told me he would flirt with taking tires and put his team on offense, but looking like he's electing with fuel only for Justin Allgaier, as well as fuel only for Corey Day, Dylan.
And it's been a full day for Sam Mayer in the 41. Had that wreck at the end of stage 1, had a right front go down into stage 2. They took fuel only there and are back in the mix.
So now you get the blend, and those guys that have made their pit stops coming off, getting back up to speed versus these drivers in the draft that are locked in together that have all of that momentum.
I think this is going to be easy.
Oh, yeah. So the run up momentum they're going to have.
Oh, yeah. They're going to drive right out by.
Absolutely hammering by in the outside lane. The parade led by Jesse Love, Wayne Perkins behind him, and then it's Austin Hill just the way they came off pit road when they made their green flag pit stops.
That last lap for this RCR group of affiliates and the RCR cars was a couple tenths faster than that pack was ever going. That was led by Sam Mayer.
Top 8 cars being showed in our bumper have not yet made a pit stop. So they will cycle back in the pack once they come down and make their stops, and they have to come before the end of the race, maybe just running a little bit long here.
Gosh, look at how much that pack is driven away from the second group that pitted. They've got that pretty good gap on them right there. They got to get lined up to draft back up.
Jordan Anderson leading. He'll have to make a pit stop. Let's look at our Mobile One leaderboard as we go to break. It's going to be Jesse Love in charge, but officially Anderson, Hocevar, and Poole out front. Balicki and Ellis also there.
All right, so we've got 7 cars who have yet to hit pit road. And then Jesse Love, scratch that, 5 cars have yet to come to pit road. Jesse Love's about 19 seconds off of the race lead. And once those final 5 cars pit, we're going to be cycled all the way through the running order. Just 30 laps to go this time by at Daytona. Jordan Anderson is the race leader. Carson Hocevar would be in second. Brendan Poole third. Josh Balicki fourth. Ryan Ellis rounds out the top 5 in fifth. 6th is Jesse Love. Blaine Perkins 7th. Austin Hill 8th. Parker Retzlaff 9th. And Jeb Burton rounds out the top 10. Carson Quapple in 11th. Taylor Gray 12th. Justin Allgaier 13th. Brandon Jones 14th. And 15th is Corey Day. Sammy Smith in 16th. Raja Karut 17th. Natalie Decker 18th. Sam Mayer 19th. And 20th is William Sawalich. Kyle Sieg 21st. Jeremy Clements 22nd. Carson Ware 23rd. Anthony Alfredo 24th. 25th is Patrick Emmerling. And the last car in the lead lap right now is LeVar Scott 26th. Daniel Dye, first car lap down in 27th. Ryan Sieg 28th. Harrison Burton 29th. And Patrick Starpoli 30th. 31st for Luke Benhouse. Austin Green 32nd. Sheldon Creed 33rd. Josh Williams 34th. 35th, Dean Thompson, as he pulled off the track at some point during this final stage. Nick Sanchez 36th, Gio Ruggiero 37th, and Mason Maggio rounds out our 38-car field. All right, 30 to go. We'll take a quick break. Side-by-side commercial continues on the CW. You're listening live on KRC to our full flag-to-fly coverage of tonight's race. Our light goal, by the way, is to get to 30. Or sorry, there's 30 to go. Our light goal is to get to 100 by the end of this stream, and we are currently at 83. So getting closer. That car smoking, heading towards pit road. This 42, I think, just locking the tires up, trying to get into the pits. So the leaders are in. Second group of cars have caught the first group, led by Jesse Love, headed down into the tri-oval. Love is going to retake the race lead now from those 5 cars that stayed out as long as they could from pitting for this final stop of the day. Oh, we got trouble. Turns 3 and 4. Sieg is around. 2 of the JGR Toyotas. Taylor Gray, Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones gets smothered by the 41 of Sam Mayer as he was trying to miss the incident. Jeremy Clements also collected. Second crash for him today, and another big hit and flames underneath the 35, who was just creeping along the outside as Sam Mayer gets cleaned out a second time. This might cause, I don't want to say it's going to cause a red flag, but that was a massive impact. 2 of them for Sam Mayer.
A Auto Parts Series here at Daytona, and it took out some really fast cars
Wow.
that had a real shot to get it done tonight.
Yeah, the perspective we were on when we saw that, it's really hard to see like what happened. It was kind of from behind, so get another view of this and see what happened. You know, it's 29 to go, so everybody's getting more aggressive.
Yeah, and when you come after green flag stops like that, the track's real jumbled up. People are in different places. They were all trying to navigate that, and it seemed like it was very disorganized as they were trying to figure out where they want to be as Jeremy Clements comes.
The 51 car is still on fire.
Good news for Clements. He did get stage points tonight, both stage 1 and stage 2. And, you know, we always talk about that in the draft because, you know, you can be involved in these big crashes, get all you can early to minimize the damage if this happens.
Kind of figured there was going to be a red flag after that. That was a massive crash.
To him,
That was the big one.
finish in this configuration, the worst of all types of tracks for this driver from Atlanta, and he gets damaged one more time.
Yeah, and the fear if you're these guys that weren't involved in this, you know you're going to stay out here is debris on the racetrack. You got to really pay attention if you're those front runners of of making sure you avoid any debris.
And NASCAR has stopped the field just off of turn 4 for that exact reason. So we get a replay here. It's down into turn 1. Oh, see, maybe coming down on Jeff Burton there. Sam Mayer takes a big shot to Brandon Jones. And then Sam is coming up the racetrack here. That's Natalie Decker, I believe that is.
Oh,
Yep. Oh,
You know, Sieg was right there where all that started, and I'm not sure he got real heavy damage.
Yeah, it looked like Jeb was kind of holding his line right there. I don't know if Ryan knew that he was inside of him, but started to slide down just a little bit. Oh, Sam Mayer. It's Brandon Jones. You see Jeremy Clements come in there. You can't stop. When you watch this, one thing that you can't see on the screen is how much oil's all over the track. You hit the brakes, and the brakes work, but the tires just don't stick to the track. Can't slip. Oh,
Wow.
man, that's a late hit. Really late.
8 cars involved. In the 4th caution of the night that has led to a red flag. Right to Brandon Jones.
Yeah, it looks to me like Jeb held right where he was.
and for Sam Mayer right here coming back up the track, you don't want to have your feet on the pedals at this point. It's
the biggest, most hurt because you're not ready for it. It's like it's much with your eyes closed.
yeah, I think Ryan Seam just really came down on Jeff Burton there. You can see where Jeff's car wiggled as he got hit basically by Sieg.
Well, and Ryan is just following that car in front of him, and
He doesn't even realize Jeff's there. Jeff doesn't realize he's coming down because he can't see that he's following that line ahead of him. Got away with it. Sometimes when you are the cause of the wreck.
watch this right here. See, she's trying to get up. There's nowhere to go. He's got to slow down prior to getting there. What a hit, though. Sam had no idea that was coming. Let's hear what Natalie Decker had to say.
He's hitting me.
Do- well.
Well, Sam had no brakes, had nothing. Track. Like I'm sure she's frustrated, but that's part of speedway racing.
You also have to be slowed down.
Yeah, well, the caution comes out, you slow down.
And there's no reason to be at any rate of speed at that point. You can come to a complete stop.
Some heavy hits. A lot of debris under the red flag with 29 to go. We're at Daytona, back in a moment on the CW.
We're going good for so long. That's the first caution per incident we've had since back at lap 30. So it had been 61 laps since the last caution. And this is the big one at Daytona, bringing out a red flag. And our timing and scoring is not correct. Jesse Love would be the leader. I don't want to go through the full field running order until after this red flag is lifted. We get another lap or two of caution in because there's going to have to be some drivers who were involved in this crash too that have to go to pit road that are still technically scored on the lead lap and didn't make it into the pits yet. And minor damage like Justin Allgaier in the 7, who's currently scored 16th. All those cars involved in the incident were pretty much on the lead lap, so I don't know how many more cars this is going to drop off of the lead lap. Free pass, not sure who that's going to go to either. Who would have been the first car a lap down. So on our board, it's showing Ryan Sieg is a lap down, but he was involved in the incident. So I don't know who the first one a lap down was when the crash started. Reemsy, thanks for tuning in. All right, well, we'll take a break while we're awaiting them to come back from full screen commercial here while we're under red and cleanup continues at Daytona. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, we are getting closer to our like goal. We're at 89 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 when this thing first started. So definitely on pace to do so. We'll see if the RCR Chevys can get back going again and continue to dominate the race that they've dominated so far, most of which has been Austin Hill. Everybody has pitted for the final time already today during green flag action, and a caution came out not long after everything cycled through. Austin Hill has led for 67 laps today out of 91. Again, just a dominating performance. About as dominant as you could be at Daytona of all racetracks. Hey, we got another Arby's ad. Right when they come back from commercial.
That's about the amount you use for half the meal.
I like the horsey sauce.
That's what I was going to
That's
say.
my jam.
Are you
Yeah.
barbecue or horsey? I'm a horsey.
I like a mixture of both.
That's
A little
great.
combo. Drink it like a milkshake.
Maybe they'll call that the McMurray sauce, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Car sitting idle here under the red flag. 29 laps to go. 24 of 38 vehicles in this race have been damaged tonight. It's been unbelievable. Down to Kim.
Yeah, and Austin Hill sweeping the stages looks to be the favorite, but there might be some issues. That car not handling to his liking. Take a listen to the in-car audio courtesy of Starkey. And then he continued to say he's so snappy. In fact, he feels like he might crash on his own. He told the team, I think tire wear is an issue. He's like, I'm not sure if the track has aged or what. My front tires feel worn out. He did tell crew chief Chad Haney, I don't want to lose track position coming in for tires, so I don't know what the right call is. The team telling them they're going to talk about it and then give him a decision.
He's fast enough. I would just bring it
One or
in.
the other, right? I mean, you're either going to have to keep your track position, or if you think it's that important, you still have 29 laps to go. I gotta think we're gonna have another caution. Maybe you come in and put tires on.
And he's also had the best air the entire time as he's led this race. Now, obviously, had a little bit of dirty air right there, but I think this was a conversation coming in this race throughout this weekend. Justin Allgaier was preaching to his crew about thinking this would be about handling. They did a lot of those fuel only stops. You're further back, maybe you do take those tires, give yourself that chance to move around. I think what we saw in the truck race last night, what we're seeing here tonight, what he described is what I've seen out of almost every car walking off of four wiggles. They seem really out of the racetrack.
Well, and I don't know what role this would play in your decision to pit here, but you have to factor in a little bit
The amount
the
of cars.
attrition rate.
Yeah, that's
You know, how
right.
few there are, and that's just less cars you have to pass. They're at an enormous disadvantage. It's easier to get by them. And here's the other thing to put this in perspective. When we return to the green flag, it's basically going to be like stage 2. So there is time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, 26 cars, I count right there on the track. There's 6 or 8 of those that have to pit to or go to the back because they had damage in the wreck. I mean, if you come in and pit, you're not going to be too far back. It'd be fun to watch him do it, see if he can drive back to the front.
Jesse Love leading under the red flag. This is our 4th caution of the night. It put us under the red. Vehicle control. Tons of damage tonight at Daytona.
Alrighty. Hoping they end up getting back to caution flag conditions here shortly. They should, because they've gone through a couple commercial breaks already. The red flag during the ARCA race today took just over 10 minutes. This one has been about that many so far. Race statistics up to this point, Austin Hill has led the most laps, 67 laps led, 1 hour, 43 minutes, 19 seconds into the race, 91 out of 120 complete, 4 cautions, 9 lead changes, 18 caution laps. Jesse Love has led for 10 laps today as well. 2 laps for Sawalich. Caruth was able to lead 1, 6 for Sam Mayer, 4 for Jordan Anderson in the middle of green flag pit stops, and that's it. That's all that has led so far here tonight at Daytona. Clements out of the infield care center. That's good. All right. Sounds like we're going to get a Sam Mayer interview here shortly.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. 29 to go in the final stage and still under the red flag here. I'm now at the infield care center with Sam Mayer, and you were kind of an innocent bystander in all of it. What'd you see out there?
Just a lot of tire smoke. I mean, that's usually how it goes here. Definitely a bummer. Everyone at Haas Factory team worked their tails off to get the Audubon Chevy out there, and it was so fast. I was so proud, to have that much speed, and oh, that's not good. Look out, bud. Look out. Oh, there's a car there. That's a bummer.
You said you didn't know who you hit.
I had no idea. Now I feel even worse for Brandon. That sucks. But yeah, just really proud of everybody. The car was so fast, so proud. And that one didn't feel very good. That one wasn't very nice. That was really unfortunate. But just I'm okay. We're all good. We're gonna move on to Atlanta, do the exact same thing, just not wreck.
Disappointing ending for Sam Mayer, Adam.
Yeah, rough night for Sam Mayer. We're still under the red flag, but they are firing the engines here at Daytona. It was a sad offseason for all those around the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Michael Annette passed away, the Iowa native, for Junior Motorsports, in one right here at Daytona in 2019. We send our condolences. We also lost Greg Biffle, a champion, Daytona winner, Hall of Fame finalist, and major contributor to the NASCAR community. Greg will be missed, along with the others involved in that tragic December plane crash. We lift our hearts to all.
Back under caution flight conditions here at Daytona. Brandon Jones, scoring him as the leader right now. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. No, it's not, because he was involved in the incident. Same with Taylor Gray. Jesse Love would be the leader. I would assume he's going to stay out of the pits unless they choose to take tires for grip. Curious to know if Austin Hill's going to do that, because he was complaining about issues with the race car handling, loose some areas of the track, tight in some areas of the track. Hasn't really had to deal with traffic much in this one. Joey Logano fan, thanks for tuning in. Daytona interesting tomorrow with the rain. Hopefully nothing happens there as far as the rain goes. Dan Rizzuto, thanks for tuning in. Almost butchered your name. Nick Salmon, thanks for tuning in. Wait, what? And that passed? Yeah, that was back in December, I think. I don't know what happened. Exactly. It was like shortly into the NASCAR off season. It was before the Biffle and family helicopter crash. Jay Boger, the motorsports fan, thanks for tuning in. Also, this offseason, ARCA West driver Nick Joanides passed away a few hours after net. I had no idea that happened. I don't follow the ARCA East or ARCA West series much, so if I had seen that, I wouldn't have probably had that catch my attention initially, but hate to hear that as well. Wasn't it Jeb and Sam wrecked after the race at Martinsville last year and got suspended? Yes. Yeah, it was Sam Mayer and Jeb Burton involved in that incident.
On to the green flag here at Daytona. Remind everybody, Daytona 500 moved up an hour tomorrow because of potential inclement weather in Central Florida. So get ready to go for the Great American Race. It's sold out. Coverage begins tomorrow on Fox at 1:30 Eastern Time. Justin Allgaier made his way in, looking for back-to-back top tens in the Daytona 500, driving for Dale Jr. And we'll see if anybody comes down pit road here. Austin Hill says, yes, I will. Thank you very much. How about it, Kim?
Yeah, we heard that in-car audio earlier just complaining about the handling of that car, calling it snappy and thinking maybe it was a tire wear issue. They went back and forth on what to do. Chad Haney ultimately saying to his driver, I feel like I can hear the answer in your voice. So brings him down for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Sunoco fueling Corey Day topping off right there as well.
I like the small move for Austin Hill, and here's why. He's been able to win these races multiple different ways. Here's just another one to add to that. It's going to be fun to watch him if that car's handling well. We'll see the speed in it. You've had the dominant car. Why you've most of this field has been involved in a race. You feel pretty confident he's going to be able to drive himself back up there. Give him the confidence of 4 fresh tires, a little adjustment, and let him do what he does best. And the one thing he has on his side is everyone knows how fast he is. So when he pulls out, you're just going to have people that want to go with you because they know the direction you're going. And that was the most frustrating thing in the world if you weren't the guy. Trust me, it was so annoying. But he'd drive to the field so easily because everyone wanted to go with him.
You said you like it for him. I like it for us. So let's go to Carla.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Another car involved in that big crash, the 51 of Jeremy Clements. You told me off camera, you said that was mayhem.
Yeah, unfortunately it was. It's sucks really. You know, we had a fast all South Electric, one stop convenience store Chevy, and nothing to show for it, but it's crashed all the heck. So I don't know, it's Daytona for you. All I could tell was the 39. Oh, I'm seeing a rate. Oh, yeah. Man, I thought I had it cleared, and I didn't. All I saw was the 39 get spun, and then it was mayhem, like I said. So it's unfortunate. Didn't get through it. That sucks. I wanted to start out the season better than that, but at least we had a fast car. We'll go to Atlanta and try to regroup and run up front there.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, he'll be a good one next week, too. Talked about his success in the draft. Won here in the summertime a few years ago to Jeremy Clements. And, you know, we don't root for drivers, but he's one of those that you just hate it when it doesn't go well because he is such a good dude. So's this guy, Jesse Love, reigning champion, won here at Daytona a season ago and trying to go back to back. And it's time for Starkey Radio Communications. Let's check it out.
Yeah, we're being here.
Scan the QR code or visit Starkey.com to find a hearing provider near you. Back down to Dylan.
Well, you heard Jesse on the radio there talk about getting linked up with the 21 in the top lane. They really would like to stay in that top lane. Earlier in the race, Jesse said when he gets on the bottom and he drags back to try to get a push, he's basically all the way out of the gas and still doesn't feel like he can get somebody connected. So being back in traffic is not ideal for them. Now, Danny Stockman, the crew chief on the left, they made a big chassis change the last stop, and that helped. But still, I think expect the two to be aggressive to stay at the front, and then definitely in the top lane if they can help that, Carla.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. Obviously, Natalie Decker involved in that crash. Pretty vocal on the radio. Are you okay after that?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay now. I just want to say thank you so much to Tian Dickinson. This is our first race in NASCAR, and I just really hope they had a good time. I had a great time up until that happened. It really sucked. My spotter was telling me to whoa up, slow up, and it looked like we were going to be clear of it. And then at the last second, the 41 rolled back, and it was just too late. And I was committed to the high side. Ah, that sucks. I just hate it for everyone back at the shop. They worked so hard. Wow, that's some big flames. They worked so hard to get this car here. Everything felt last minute. Everyone was working really good at the shop to get this car here. All I can say is just thank you to the team and Tian Dickinson's for everything, and I can't wait to get back to the track again.
Glad you're okay. Thanks.
It was a year ago that she gave birth to her son Levi. This February, racing here at Daytona, and unfortunately doesn't get the payoff.
Well, this isn't good. Uh-oh. No. Yep. Oh, you know, so slow. You see the car. That's a good move. They're probably already doing that. There's no oil leaking out of it right there. I think that's just tire smoke and the suspension damage he has. That's why you see him being all swirly.
Here we go with the choose.
Blake Perkins goes behind
Three
affiliate
cars.
on the bottom. Teammate there, Jesse Love and Blake Perkins. What a run.
40 laps inside the top 10, stage points in both stage 1 and stage 2, and coming off a career best finish in the draft last fall. He was 6th at Talladega Superspeedway. Now our golden moment, brought to you by Golden Corral.
This is like almost a replay in that other Hendrick cars.com car. Project Ruth get three, get sideways here. That's just tailgate a little bit, but hangs onto it, saves it. That's this. He kind of slipped to the back, maybe got his breath back a little bit.
That wasn't it, but he does right now own the Xfinity fastest lap. We changed the championship format in 2026, but that element of scoring didn't go away. It still pays a point. Max points in a race now, 76. If you win, you get 55. 10 points apiece, stage 1 and stage 2 to get you to 75. And if you can lay down the fastest lap, that's one more, getting you to 76 potential points in a race.
So as I look at our scoring monitor, we talked about how far back was Austin Hill going to go, and not very far. He's going to line up 12th on this restart with 4 tires. I like the position he's in. I think that was worth the gamble if he didn't feel like he could get back to the front where he was. You right on board with him right here, you see.
And if you told the guys up front he's restarting 12th, they're going to be like, are
What?
you kidding me?
Right. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see
lap or two?
I think he'll get to the outside by the time he gets to turn 3.
Yep.
And I think we'll have a couple of guys go with him. Going to be in good position here.
Going to be 24 laps to go when we return to the green flag. Jesse Love in control. To his left, Sammy Smith. Lights off on a pace car. It will pull in. And the duo out front will make their way to the Poet restart zone. And as we get the restart, we go full throttle with sound gear. No commentary, just pure racing. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has a solution. Scan the QR code to head to soundgear.com and learn more.
Each other as well. Oh.
We saw that on board with Austin Hill. He got to the back of Corey Day, who has that damage on the rear bumper. There was nothing to push. It just compressed the whole thing into the car. So Austin Hill wanted to go to the outside. It just didn't work. We'll see it here. So he catches Corey Day. It's a bit of a checkup. Just compresses that bumper and it pops right back out.
But that could have been wrong. Just an amazing opportunity for him because of how much they were checking up, but there just wasn't enough room. You see, he's now on the bottom behind Jeb Burton. Hold on, Jeb. Big run right here on the inside. I think I'd prefer to be on the outside through this, but we're going to see the handling of that car. Hopefully, he's going to be a little bit better because of the tires he's been on. 12th on the restart. Cross the finish line this time, 6th. You might be right, Parker. It might be only 2 or 3 levels before he gets back to the front.
And the way he does this, I'll tell you, he takes every run available. He doesn't hesitate when there is a run. You mentioned going to the top. Well, for him, it's top, bottom. It doesn't matter. Wherever the run generates, he's going there.
Good night for Jordan Anderson Racing. Jeb Burton, Blaine Perkins, both inside the top 5.
There it is to the middle. Get back behind your teammate right here. Going to be in a great position. Look at that. Jesse Love picks him up. They've got Blaine Perkins on the outside.
And here comes a push 42. Carson Hostobar was a lap down, got the free pass. He is right there, Leia.
But one thing Austin Hill has to be a little bit careful of is he has those new tires, so his handling's going to feel good, but you can't get too aggressive pushing guys because they aren't in that same position. Up to P3 in only 3 laps.
And the next time around, I think we'll say new racing. Austin Hill, fresher tires, fastest car, dominated the night, and here he is pushing his teammate around Daytona with 21 to go.
Pushed him way out there. Blaine Perkins here down the backstretch trying to generate another one of those runs.
Just in a perfect position right there. That was a great decision to come down, get 4 tires. I love that Chad Haney made that call for him so he could hear it in his voice and has now put his driver back. Best position.
Oh, got another.
Corey Day involved. Tasha
Jeez.
Jeb and Harrison. Yeah. LeVar Scott there as well.
This has gotten ugly fast.
LC able to tiptoe around.
Some hard hits there.
Oof, got a bunch more good cars. Look at that jump.
Exactly.
We talked about Austin Hill being right behind him a lap before.
Yep.
We got to be a little bit lucky at these type of tracks. Corey Day's luck has finally run out. He did an awesome job, though, all day long.
Yeah, for Corey Day, he didn't get the stage points. William Sawalich did, so it'd take a big hit to start the season in that 17.
You mentioned Jeb had the 21 right behind him, but he got sort of crossed up off of 2, and it just didn't work out for him down the backstretch, and that was his chance to maybe use that momentum.
Oh, that's on fire.
They're right time.
That's interesting.
So what are we at? 70%, 75%?
A lot.
I think it's
Now?
the word we'll use now.
A lot. Let's not
We're
get
not
into
percentages.
math.
We don't even need math. We just know it's a lot.
Taylor Gray. Pretty good drafter. 2 nights in a row. In contention late. Involved in a crash. Same scenario for him last night in the Craftsman Truck Series event.
Joe Gibbs Racing has tore up a lot of cars here. We saw the 19 early on. And Brandon Jones in that last wreck. Now Taylor Gray. Big hit for that 54. We're going to take a look back and see what started all this, head down into turn 3. Oh, it just looks like
Bad tap. The cars are so unsettled right there. William Sawalich was in 8th at the time. Looked like Corey Day maybe just seemed like he was in his left rear a little bit from that angle.
And I didn't see the was there contact on
Just
entry? I
like
didn't
there on the left
see that
side.
on entry. I just saw the 18 get loose.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Just in the bumper, and the cars are so unsettled at that point on the entry of the corner. Any tap, especially in that left rear, you almost take away the air from the spoiler. It's almost impossible to hold on to from William Sawalich's position.
Say what, if we get another look at that, I want you to watch Raja Karuth. It's going to be just behind this, and he gets into it a little bit, but I want you to watch how good of a job he does. He has a little contact here. Watch him slow down, though. All these cars are wrecking in front of him. He's still slowing down. Look, Sawalich is actually going to pass him back, going the wrong direction. perfect job by him to get slowed down, save that car. He's got a little damage to the nose, but great job in that environment.
And he maintained his position out by the wall, so you can see everything in front of you and everything down to your left.
So you'll see that right here. Man, maybe, gosh,
It's
it's
as close as can be.
It's as close
I
as can be.
It's like just the air got
But-
the 18 loose.
Even that move where he goes across the rear bumper, when you do that in these cars, I did that to Austin Hill at Talladega 2 years ago, and I felt like I never touched him. But it's that exact thing where you take, if you go from the right to the left, that moment you take the air off their spoiler, and it almost just, that car is going to go around.
Kosovar, we had talked about him getting back up front. He got a little bit of damage as well. 13 cars involved. Caution number 5, inside of 20 laps to go. Right here with Jeff Burton. A couple of wins in the draft for him. His dad, Ford, a champion in the Daytona 500. He's here today. But 27 is banged up. As we close on the end here at the World Center of Racing.
120 laps to go under caution for the 5th time today at the Daytona International Speedway in the United Rentals 300. Jesse Love is the race leader at the time of caution. His teammate Austin Hill took 4 fresh tires during the caution prior, following the biggest one in which we had a red flag, and Hill is now up to 2nd already. Great charge for him on that restart to get to where he's at. Blaine Perkins in 3rd, Sammy Smith 4th, Parker Retzlaff is 5th, and 6th is Carson Kvapil. 7th place is Justin Allgaier, Jordan Anderson 8th, Raja Karuk 9th, Daniel Dye rounds out the top 10. Patrick Emmerling in 11th, Carson Hocevar 12th, Ryan Ellis in 13th. Carson Ware 14th, Josh Balicki 15th. Anthony Alfredo 16th, 17th is LeVar Scott. Now Daniel Dye has dropped to 18th. He must have just hit pit road during this caution. Carson Hocevar 19th is the last car in the lead lap. The Wright Sieg is a lap down in 20th. Patrick Staropoli 21st, 22nd for Jeb Burton. William Sawalich 23rd, Corey Day 24th, Taylor Gray 25th, Austin Green 26th, Luke Fenhouse 27th, Harrison Burton 28th, Sheldon Cray 29th, and Brandon Jones 30th. Sam Mayer 31st, Jeremy Clements 32nd, Natalie Decker 33rd, Josh Williams 34th, Dean Thompson 35th, Nick Sanchez 36th, Gio Ruggiero 37th, and Mason Maggio rounds out our 38-car field. Yellow like Arby's cheddar. Yeah, there we go. That's a new one. I like that. I like that.
The track are protecting first responders and communities all across America. Crew's been busy tonight. 5 cautions, 1 red flag, and a lot of damaged race cars, like 80% of the field. Here's a stat for you. It's Valentine's Day. Valentine's to the 2 of you. And drivers to win. And they've all come at Daytona on Valentine's Day. Jeff Bodine, 1987 for HMS. Nimco Motorsports and Joe Nemechek. Front row Joe, 1998 got it done. Tony Stewart, also driving for Hendrick in 2009. Celebrated Valentine's Day in Victory Lane. But tonight just seems different. I mean, when your name is Jesse Love and you're racing on Valentine's Day, I mean, are you serious? Austin Hill said, I got your Valentine's Day right here.
I just thought you didn't say love is a meme.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm saving that for.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Here's Jesse Love Radio.
You got like 11 and a half gallons. 11. Went over where I told you 3 and a half. I want to take more right now.
So what they're referencing, obviously, is how much fuel is in that fuel cell, and 3.5 gallons is basically where, when they're in the banking under caution, that fuel goes to the left side of the fuel cell, it goes away from the pickup. And you saw in the last restart, Jesse was actually weaving, coming to the green. That's what you do to keep fuel to the right side of the fuel cell in that pickup. These cars can get air pockets When that happens, it just kills the motor. And even when you have 3.5 gallons, which if the car was level would be fine, but on the banking, it just starves the motor for fuel and can really put you in problems. So as we get later in this race and if we have more restarts, that's what they're referencing to make sure you keep that fuel cell packed to the right side.
You got to be thinking about it. But when they made their pit stop 39 to go, they were plenty to the good and even had insurance for overtime. That's the way you think about it when you make that pit stop. And then you add on top of that the caution laps, which just increase your fuel mileage. So right now, everybody should be really good in that regard. Ryan Sieg gets the free pass. Now, he's not had the greatest of nights. He's been pushed around a lot this evening. But with all the other attrition, he gets back on the lead lap in his 19th prior to the choose here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at those line of cars, all guy who we know went to the back, put tires on, and all those, he's got a little more damage than I realized, but all those JRM cars are still in the top 10. And we saw Justin rode on board with him for a little bit. Even with that damage, he was able to drive up through the pack. Car still seems to have plenty of speed in it. You got a long ways to go here in 17 laps. A lot's going to happen. You're going to want Carson Quapple there, that one car, to be the leader of that JRM train. If they can work together, especially if Sammy Smith's still there.
All right, these are drivers that have not been involved in a crash tonight. Carson Quapple, Ryan Ellis, who could get his second career top 10. Obviously, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, who've been up front all night. Good effort for Dean Thompson. The drivers from Jordan Anderson Racing, Blaine Perkins and the boss man Jordan Anderson. By the way, Ross Chastain going to drive that 32 next weekend at Echo Park Speedway. And then Parker Retzloff also able to avoid damage tonight. A few takers here.
I gotta think they're gonna work on the seventh nose maybe a little bit again here, or the handling being off. We know Raja was barely involved in that wreck. You see some damage to those right side tires getting into the wall, get kind of squeezed into the wall. Those change. This car looks to me to be in pretty good shape. Those composite bodies can take a real hit, especially compared to the rest of the field. It's not. That's brand new. It's pristine.
Good night for Raja and the team trying to set him up for a late rally to the finish. Carla?
Yeah, Brendan Jones not a part of the most recent wreck, but the wreck before that, you were having a really strong race before that. How disappointing is it that this is how your night ends?
Yes, and we had some people from Menards, some of the Menards family with us here today. Swiffer always such a long time supporter of our race. To go out like this, but I don't know. This racing's just kind of for the birds. I think, in my opinion, it's so difficult to make it to the end. Did a lot of things right today. Made a couple little small mistakes and missed a few runs here and there that I could go back and learn from. But I was proud of the save in the early on. I know that maybe hopefully the end card showed that one. That was pretty epic. There were some really good moments as well. So I'm going to take the highs and maybe go back and study some of the lows and see how we can do it, because we got plenty of these tracks left on the schedule to try to tackle. So we'll continue to work at it. And we'll go to the home track next week.
Yeah, he talks about more tracks in the draft, 6 of them in all, 1 of them in the chase. We'll go to Talladega Superspeedway late in the year, and it could play a pivotal role in who wins the championship. 15 laps to go this time by as we ride around under caution.
Saving that fuel. Just coasting.
89 laps led tonight for Richard Childress Racing. 67 for Hill, 22 for Love. As we do the freeway insurance choose, where every lane choice can change the race outcome.
Saw the RCR guys take the front row. Hope both those guys hoping they can get good push. There's RC. I think he cares which of them wins as long as one of them does. All they have that logo on it.
It's got to be special for both those drivers. Celebrating big moments in their career with him, a Hall of Famer. So cool. Think about the championship last year, all the success here at Daytona. That organization has won 4 in a row in February. 3 straight for Austin Hill, 22, 23, 24, and last year went to Jesse Love.
Must be fun being the owner of
And you feel like you got the field covered a little
I
bit.
think it's fun when you come here and you're fast. I just can't help but laugh at Kyle Busch, that shirt he used to wear when he was an owner. You come to Daytona and it said most expensive day of the year. Right? I think if you're like Joe Gibbs Racing and you wrecked everything today, it's probably not as much. But the success that they have had at this track and all of these, yeah, without a doubt, it's great.
Sam Hunt calls these races the speedway tax.
All of the cars are
Everybody
coupled
pays
up.
it.
Oh
That's
man.
right.
Well, so far tonight, it's been the rich get richer, right? Because if you're RCR, you've led all the laps, you won.
Robert Goodrich, thanks for the $5 and $10 super chat, the second of which I greatly appreciate that. You've been extra generous tonight. We did get to our like goal of 100 likes on the stream. Greatly appreciate everybody who has tuned in today and hit the like button and or even subscribe to the YouTube channel. I highly recommend you do so. We got NASCAR content every weekend just like this, every NASCAR race weekend for Truck, O'Reilly, Cup Series Racing. Daytona 500 will be tomorrow. We're going to kick things off at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Next Truck and O'Reilly races will be next weekend at Atlanta. Looks like they've added another lap of caution. So we're looking at about 13 laps to go in the next restart now.
Down to 13 laps to go at the restart. I understand William Sawalich was having a hard time pulling off the pit lane, so they got to give him some help.
Wayne Perkins still in a great position.
Yeah.
We built him up having a career night for him. Still finds himself in a great position.
Go back to a year ago. Jesse Love had one career victory. Came his rookie campaign at Talladega. Sophomore season starts with a bang. There's a white flag went in the air, but he got the white before the caution came out, drove it around to the checkers, and he went on to book in 2025, a win in the season opener. Got it done at Phoenix, picked up the championship trophy in the desert, and he's in position to go back-to-back here at the World Center of Racing, and his best competition, his teammate restarting to his left.
Give a shout out to this guy here, Anthony Alfredo. Talked about
It's been a long weekend.
Long weekend for him. They didn't qualify in his main ride, the 96 for Mikey Motorsports. That second car they started, Cesar Baccarella and Alpha Prime were nice enough to let him hop in this number 4 car, currently sitting 9th in the top 10. Just a little bit of damage, but with everything that's happened tonight, maybe he can have
Pretty good.
a great finish to the night, Carla.
Thanks, Parker. Yeah, Taylor Gray just leaving the infield, the Care Center. What happened out there?
Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time. Just guys getting impatient. But end of the day, I feel like we had a really fast operation there at GR Supra. I can't thank Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota Racing for working hard all off season and bringing fast race cars to the track. So gonna move on to next week in Atlanta.
Yeah, Taylor just wrong place at the right time. You see the contact right there with Corey Day, nowhere for him to go. I always felt like when you came to these places, it was like a 50-50. You know, I mean, that's honestly what makes the RCR results here so incredible is it's hard to finish 3 or 4 of these in a row, much less be in victory lane.
5 cautions tonight.
Richard Childress Racing dominated the night yet again, trying to win their 5th consecutive February Daytona O'Reilly Series race. Austin Hill will be on the inside of row 1 for this restart. Jesse Love on the outside, just 13 laps to go at Daytona. And I believe only 20 cars on the lead lap. Green flag is in the air, and Jesse Love gets a great push on the restart outside of row number 1. Behind him is Sammy Smith in the 8. We'll see if he can get down in front of his teammate Austin Hill. No, he is not able to do so. And they are door-to-door for the lead as they go through turns 1 and 2. Gridlock right behind the RCR Chevys. Blaine Perkins getting pushed by the 1 of Carson Quapple. Hill with a quick side draft, pulling down well below Jesse Love. Love got a quick little tap by the 8 of Sammy Smith as they were entering turn 3, keeping him nose-to-nose with his teammates still. Interested to see which one of these two are going to be able to take control of this race off of this restart. 11 laps to go as they work their way back across the start-finish line. I believe Hill by inches led that lap over Love. And caution's out again. I don't know where at. Not in the lead pack at all. Right front tires come apart on Jeb Burton's number 27 Chevrolet. And a lot of debris down the back straightaway here at Daytona, and this is going to take us to under 10 laps to go. I was going to say, I was wondering what that was for. I saw the caution displayed at the bottom of the screen. And that would be what it was for. Debris on the track brought to you by Arby's. The typical Arby's plug. Four subs away from 6,900. That would take us 100 away from our goal to get to 7,000 on the channel. We've already hit our like goal for the stream of 100. We're at 105 currently. Thank you all so much for that. It's the Austin Hill show here at Daytona. He was barely in the lead when the caution came out over Jesse Love. They were nose to nose for every bit of that lap and a half after the restart before the caution. Curious to see if they line up the same way again, side by side on the next restart, and try to keep the field gridlocked. I don't really know that there's a right or wrong answer there as to how they can successfully pull this off to get the race win. We'll go through the full field running order here with 11 laps left and counting down under caution. Austin Hill leads, Jesse Love in second. Blaine Perkins is third, Sammy Smith fourth, and fifth is Carson Quapple. Sixth place for Parker Retzlaff, Jordan Anderson seventh, Ryan Ellis eighth, Brendan Poole ninth, Anthony Alfredo rounds out the top 10. Then Justin Allgaier in 11th, Raja Carew 12th, Ryan Sieg 13th. He's back on the lead lap. He was a lap down for a lot of this race. Forget what incident he's been involved in because we've seen quite a few big ones today. Kyle Segan 14th, Patrick Emmerling 15th, Carson Hosevar 16th, Josh Balicki 17th, and 18th is LeVar Scott. Carson Ware 19th, Daniel Dye 20th. Patrick Staropoli 21st is the last car on the lead lap now. I believe he got the free pass during the last caution. And Jeb Burton brought out the yellow. He's fallen a couple laps down now with that damage, and we'll see if he returns back onto the track again. Austin Green's in 23rd, Luke Fenhouse 24th, Sheldon Creed 25th, William Sawalich 26th, Corey Day 27th, Taylor Gray 28th, Harrison Burton 29th, and Brandon Jones 30th. Sam Mayer 31st, Jeremy Clemens 32nd, Natalie Deckard 33rd, Josh Williams 34th, Dean Thompson 35th, 36th for Nick Sanchez, Gio Ruggiero 37th, Mason Maggio 38th. That rounds out the field. Ten laps to go at Daytona. They did not get the one to go signal this time by, so we're going to restart with at least 8 laps to go, maybe less. I would assume they're going to get the one to go this time. Being a single car incident, I know there was a lot of debris there. Here's Corey Day, who's been caught up with after exiting the infield care center in his crash earlier.
You feeling about your night before that happened?
Yeah, I mean, minus the spin off before, I think was, learning a lot, and thought our car was really good. So yeah, just unfortunate there. The replay I saw, I couldn't, quite see what happened before that. I don't know if I got pushed into the 18 or backing up there on him getting loose, or I got into him. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. So yeah, I hate that. I feel like I was one of the main causes of that. So yeah, I feel terrible, but yeah, just thanks to all my guys and the whole IndyCar team for working so hard. We'll get next week in Atlanta.
You're getting acquainted with the super speedways. What'd you learn about your car tonight?
Yeah, just kind of, it was really loose there before I crashed. So that was just a, a balance thing that unfortunately you have to be in race trim to feel. And yeah, I made an adjustment. Thought we got it really good. And yeah, just after that, kind of a little more draggy after I hit the wall.
But other than that, I thought it was really good. So, yeah, I wish we could have got on that one.
Day ends early for Corey Day. Dylan.
Carla, just want to give another attaboy to Parker Retzloff. We've talked a little bit about him and the struggles of his teammate, Anthony Alfredo, earlier. When I talked to Parker earlier this afternoon, he said they fully expected the 96 car to be better than they were because the 96 car's got some newer chassis components, so they were all kind of puzzled why this car actually ended up being the faster of the two cars. But Parker has done a great job to keep his nose clean, and he's in the mix. Remember, he's been in the mix on the Cup Series races at this racetrack as well in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and a great team for him with Viking Motorsports. Danny Eflin, the crew chief who led AM Racing and Harrison Burton last year, and Doug Campbell is his spotter who spotted Austin Cindric to a Daytona 500 victory. So all the right pieces in place for the 99.
Parker Retzloff at Atlanta just last year was in position late in that race with a huge monster run. Dylan mentioned also in the Cup race here, pushed Harrison Burton.
See the choose results. Retzloff goes to that bottom lane behind Perkins and a race leader, Austin Hill. Choose with 9 to go, 8 remaining when we go green.
This will be interesting if
All right, so side by side on the upcoming restart again for Austin Hill and Jesse Love, the RCR teammates. Blaine Perkins, an affiliated teammate of Jordan Anderson Racing, will be inside of row 2 behind Austin Hill. Outside of that second row, Sammy Smith, who's been forward and backwards on the pack a ton here tonight. Row 3 looks to be Parker Retzlaff on the inside. I believe Carson Quapple up high. Ryan Ellis up in the top 8 along with Jordan Anderson, a couple of underdogs. Surviving all the carnage throughout the course of the race today. Again, 21 cars are on the lead lap, headed for this restart with 8 laps to go in the event. Hopefully that is the last caution. We can finish this race up shortly and crown a winner to kickstart the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series season. All right, well, here we go. 8 laps left. "21 cars still have a shot to win this race. If you're on the lead lap, you got a shot, especially the way this one has gone down the stretch. Still a little over half the field, believe it or not, despite all the carnage we've seen. Only 6 cautions, the same amount we saw last night, but we had a red flag in this race for a very big crash, and seen a couple of hard, vicious crashes compared to just a few single truck incidents in that truck race yesterday evening. Green flag back in the air. Austin Hill will lead us to the green. He's got his nose out in front. Great push from behind by Parker Retzlaff. Same for Sammy Smith to the back of the 2 of Jesse Love. Third lane maybe starting up towards the outside of the racetrack as well. Brendan Poole, Justin Allgaier working their way up there. And Brendan Poole still working his way up to the outside. Sammy Smith, going to cut that off immediately. Justin Allgaier was working that 44 car up through the field quickly. I don't know where exactly they restarted. They were both outside the top 10, and now they're up in the 3rd and 4th lane, or 3rd and 4th row of the outside lane. Austin Hill is clear of the pack. Less cars in it. Might be a little easier for him to try to make these moves and hold on to the front of the running order. Couple of underdogs looking for that upset. Parker Retzlaff would be a big one. He was runner-up in the summer Daytona race, or at least pushed Harrison Burton to the summer Daytona winner of the Cup Series 2 years ago. Trying to win an Xfinity race for himself. So 6 laps left. This time by at the line. The triple shove to the back of Jesse Love. That came from Bull Smith and Brennan Poole. Austin Hill up to block his teammate. Plenty of time. Now Love's going to swing to the bottom. His teammate thought about making the block on him. Did not. Jesse Love's going to lead this lap at the line. Austin Hill will side draft him, and they'll hold side by side for the lead. Every man for themselves now. I guess we're late enough in the race. His teammate's going to try to ensure that at least one of them get the win, but which one will it be? Oh, we got contact down the back straightaway. Caruth and the 42 car are around. Caruth got clipped right in the right rear. Somehow everybody else avoids that. I don't know how that started exactly, but we saw the 88 get turned to the right. 42 went around as well. That was just outside the top 10, and we have our 7th caution with 6 laps to go. This is going to set us up for a 2-lap to go shootout. I don't know if it is going to be an overtime one or not, but I guess at that point it doesn't matter. Carson Hocevar's had his great deal of incidents in the last 24 hours between the truck race yesterday and the O'Reilly Series race here today. Kind of like the ARCA race earlier where the restarts pile on late, and when it seems like the 21 and the 2 are in complete control of everything, they have to survive yet another restart. And remember, it was back in the ARCA race earlier where the Nitro teammates were in control of the race for the most part, and then they ended up both getting taken out in a crash that resulted in us going to overtime shortly thereafter. JGR was able to steal the win. Now, I don't think there's really any JGR Toyotas left in this race, actually. I think they're all out because of a crash. Sawalch out, Gray out, Jones out. I know Ruggiero was out early, so yeah, all 4 of them are out. Is there a Sam Hunt Racing Toyota left on the lead lap? No. All the Toyotas are out of the race. Dean Thompson had his issue earlier. Harrison Burton's out. Yeah, no Toyotas left in this race. All 6 of them are done for the night. And I would assume Hocevar is going to be able to continue. Same for Caruth. There wasn't much damage to either one of their cars, but they're going to struggle to keep up with the pack with their damage following this crash. Hocevar is full on goon. Relevant, still ruining the vibe. Yeah, I mean, he almost caught some wrecks in the dual race on Thursday night. Luckily, he did not. Put a bunch of heavy blocks. And now between last night in trucks and here today, I don't know. Rusty McShackle thanks for tuning in. Austin Hill's the Arby's of drivers. Oh boy. I don't know what that means exactly, but Seth Thomas, thanks for tuning in. A Senna fan, welcome into the stream. As well as many others. If I didn't shout you out yet, greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. Saturday night, Daytona. We're setting up for a green-white checker restart here. We'll have about 2 laps to go. They're at 4 to go now, so they're definitely not going to get the... well, they didn't get the 1 to go last time by, so yes, we will have 2 laps left. And whether it's overtime or not, because it's 2 laps to go, if they get to the white flag, the next flag would end the race, whether it's another caution or the checkered flag. And if a caution comes out before they get to the white, then we'll have unlimited overtimes until we can at least get to the white. Black Swan, thanks for tuning in. Jeff Gordon for the win. Does that mean the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet? Well, Corey Day's out, and Raja Caruth just got caught up in that crash, so I don't... It's about the closest to Jeff Gordon I think we could see tonight just by way of the Hendrick Alliance. And we'll take a quick break while we're under caution again late. Listening live KRC as our full flag to fly coverage continues. There's a ton of shirtless dudes in the front couple rows. There was like 2 rows of them last night in the truck race going into a green white checker. Tonight there's there's a lot of them. I mean, it's got to be every bit of at least 30 dudes. Tarps off, waving them in the air. They're excited for a green white checker. And or excited to just be on TV. Maybe a little bit of both. See if they get the 1 to go signal this time by. It looks like they're going to. Yeah, lights are out on the pace car, so we get to the choose rule. Green, white checker. Austin Hill will elect the bottom of row 1. Sammy Smith on the outside. Jesse Love's going to be outside of row 2. Those RCR cars got split up quite a bit before the caution flag came out. So this will be the finish of the race. Row 1 will be Austin Hill on the inside. Outside, Sammy Smith. Row 2 will be Brennan Poole, Jesse Love. Then Justin Allgaier and Blaine Perkins. In row 3, Row 4 is going to be Ryan Ellis. Scratch that. It'll be Jordan Anderson and Parker Retzlaff. Ryan Sieg, Carson Quapple, row 5. Sieg on the bottom, Quapple up high. So just outside the top 10, right around row 6, that's where Ryan Ellis is. And Anthony Alfredo filling in for Baccarella in the race today after Baccarella qualified that number 4 car in on time, and they had a driver swap right before the race this afternoon. So 2 laps to go. It is technically not an overtime restart. This would be the scheduled distance at lap 120. If we can get all the way back around to the white without another yellow, this would be the finish. So the RCR car split up. Harder to take control, but Austin Hill's been able to do a great job of taking control himself. Even when he's been by himself, it's just a little bit harder not having that teammate around him. We're going to have a quick exit with this race running just a little bit long. As soon as it comes to an end, we will have the race-winning interview for whoever wins the race. And then that will be it for the night. We'll be live at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon for the Daytona 500 as well. Hand out the window for Hill, and he'll wave it forward when he wants the push in the restart zone so he can get out ahead on a good restart. And I'm sure Sammy Smith will give him that said push. Green flag back in the air. Middle of the restart zone went Hill. Wonder how aggressive Jesse Love's going to try to push the 8. He's on him right now, even with his teammate on the inside of row 1. He still wants to get up there and win the race himself. Can't blame him. All right, we'll let go of the pushes into turns 1 and 2. Tightly on the nose so they can get the pushes going again once they get down the back straightaway. And we'll see if anybody tries a third lane, and it will be the 1 car. Carson Quapple moving up into the third lane. He's got Parker Retzlaff along with the 38 going with him. Jesse Love moves up, and he gets stalled out by Sammy Smith, who nearly pinched him up into the wall. Love still on the outside. Sammy Smith's going backwards, and the top 3 are single file on the bottom. Make that top 4 now. Allgaier's got a bit of a gap in third. He's got the 32 car behind him, closing in on Brennan Poole, who sits second behind the race leader and the guy who's dominated all day, Austin Hill. Hill has won the first 2 stages. Can he win the final stage? White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at Daytona. Final lap of the race. Will they make it back to the line? Poole is backing off. Will he try to get a run on the back straightaway? He's closing in the middle of turns 1 and 2, maybe dragging the brake as Hill to keep that gap from opening up too much. Still single file, top 5 positions. Poole's going to get a push from the 7 and the 32, but Poole gets loose. He saves it on the high side. Allgaier's going to go. He moves up. He gets blocked by Hill. 32 of Jordan Anderson on the bottom. Pushes the back of Austin Hill forward. Hill has forward momentum, and he's getting well out ahead of the pack in the middle of 3 and 4. Side drafting for second between Jordan Anderson and Justin Allgaier. It's a big gap, but I don't think they're going to have enough time to run Hill down. One last stretch into the tri-oval. Checkered flag waving. Austin Hill, dominating performance, will win at Daytona for the 4th time in February in his O'Reilly Series career. 81 hundredths of a second, the margin of victory. Allgaier finishes second behind Austin Hill, the race winner. Ryan Sieg third. Jordan Anderson 4th, and Sammy Smith rounds out the top 5 in 5th. Ryan Ellis in 6th. Carson Quapple 7th. Blaine Perkins 8th. Jesse Love 9th. And Raja Caruth rounds out the top 10. 11th for Anthony Alfredo. Brennan Poole 12th. Patrick Emmerling 13th. Parker Retzlaff 14th. And Kyle Sieg in 15th. 16th for LeVar Scott. Josh Balicki 17th. Patrick Starpoli 18th. 19th for Carson Ware. And Carson Hosevar 20th. Last car in the lead lap, 21st, Daniel Dye. Austin Green 22nd. Was 2 laps down. 3 laps down for Luke Fenhouse in 23rd. 4 laps down for Sheldon Creed in 24th. And then DNFs from 25th on back. In tonight's race, Jeb Burton finishes 25th. William Sawalich 26th. 27th for Corey Day. Taylor Gray 28th. Harrison Burton 29th. And 30th, Brandon Jones. 31st, Sam Mayer. Jeremy Clements 32nd. Natalie Decker 33rd. Josh Williams 34th. Dean Thompson 35th, Nick Sanchez 36th, Gio Rogero 37th, and Mason Maggio rounds out our 38-car field. 7 cautions, 15 lead changes. We finish under the regulation length of 120 laps, 300 miles, 2 hours, 34 minutes, 19 seconds total time to get there. 36 total laps under yellow. We had 1 red flag. Again, 81 hundredths of a second. The margin of victory, 78 laps led out of 120 for Austin Hill here tonight, well over half the race. He wins all 3 stages, gets the win. That's a max points day of 75 points for winning both stages and winning the race. Congratulations to Hill. You'll get to hear from him shortly, and then that will wrap up the stream. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. We'll be live for the Daytona 500 right here on KRC. Big burnout on the front stretch at Daytona for Austin Hill. A lot of smoke settling from inside the cockpit as he takes his time getting out of his car. He'll be celebrating again, and here he is.
Austin will celebrate with the crowd, and then he'll load up and drive over to Mobile One Victory Lane for an interview.
Such a great moment right there with all your guys.
All right, it sounds like the interview is going to be coming from Victory Lane. Sorry that you're going to miss it. I really apologize for that. We're going to have a quick out here tonight with this race running long. I've got obligations for the evening. And as far as Austin Hill goes, race winner, I thought they were going to interview him on the front stretch. I'm used to that, but it looks like they're going back to Victory Lane for the interview here. So good to see in original form. Usually you would see the interview. Again, apologize for that, everybody. I'm on my way out. A long day of streaming here today between the 2 races. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live for the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday night, everybody. And I'll see you for the big one